Looks like we are live. Scruffy should be joining us here in a little bit. Let me copy the link and paste it again. Alrighty. Just bear with me for a minute. We're going to be, in this live stream, we're going to be going over the history of the Star Wars franchise. That's going to be the topic of discussion, as well as other things in Star Wars, and also just having a Star Wars discussion with Scruffy in general. Should be here any minute now. Where do I click? Is there somewhere where I have to accept? Oh, he's joined. Add to the story.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I made it pretty much on time, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't expecting you to be right on time, but we were ready. We seemed to be both be ready.
Okay, it's all good.
So, but how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Just been working a lot lately, but yeah, things are going pretty good. How about you?
I've been doing pretty good. I've been working a lot, also creating content on here, like doing mostly just Star Wars news. And I've also been just pretty much just being me.
Yeah, you should always be yourself. It's a
Yeah.
good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, my passion, like especially with my passion with Star Wars, I'm always myself with that.
So, how are things for Star Wars at the moment? I don't really keep up with Disney Star Wars.
I mean, things are kind of. I have mixed feelings with some of the new projects lately. Like, for example, like I have my favorites and least favorites. Like, I do enjoy The Mandalorian. I thought The Mandalorian was pretty good. And I was excited to see Luke Skywalker appear at the very end of season 2.
That happened. That was around the time because like I did watch Disney Star Wars. I did follow it, but then I kind of just
Yeah.
left it around like the second season of The Mandalorian. But yeah, I remember it was crazy when that happened, the Luke reveal.
Yeah. And also, The Mandalorian and Grogu didn't do so well in the box office. And honestly, I thought that they should have just stuck with season 4 of The Mandalorian, even though like I understand like Disney and their logic because they haven't released a Star Wars film since 2019's The Rise of Skywalker, and they wanted to get a Star Wars film out, and they decided to replace season 4 with The Mandalorian and Grogu. And I was against this idea like from the very beginning, but then I kind of rode along with it, and I'm like, oh, maybe this film will do decent in the theaters, but then the box office numbers didn't really look too good. And I mean, it's not that the story was bad because I went to see the film, but it just it really didn't do all that well. And I and also I feel like it felt like more of a business decision than like a creative decision, because Lucasfilm always in the past has always like made like creative decisions, like especially when George Lucas was around. Even with the original trilogy, you know how he made all those changes later on, but then when he was making the original trilogy, he wanted to do a space film that nobody has ever done before, and he wanted to do so much in 1977 to 1983, and then after during those times, he couldn't do everything he wanted to do. That's why we have the special editions, the 2004 and the 2011, all the changes that have been happening within the original trilogy.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said there. I mean, The Mandalorian just, yeah, it really shouldn't have been the first movie they done. And yeah, it just, like you said, it's very clearly a business decision. I wouldn't be surprised if they filmed it as season 4 originally, and then they just cut it down into like an hour-long movie once they
Yeah.
decided to just release the movie.
Well, John Favreau was recently asked about it in an interview, and he said that the season 4 and the Mandalorian and Grogu are very different. So I don't know what to think about, like what to believe, what to believe, because John Favreau says one thing, but people say that, oh, the season 4 scripts are being converted into the movie. So I think that, I mean, if it's true, it's true, but I'm not that that's not that I'm not worried about whether it's true or not. I felt like that season 4 should have just happened. But the Mandalorian and the Mandalorian and Grogu, I hope that Lucasfilm really learns from this experience going forward. And I feel like Star Wars Starfighter should have been the first Star Wars movie more than The Mandalorian and Grogu since 2019's The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know if it said I disconnected. I don't know what
Oh,
happened.
that's all right. I was wondering for a minute.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Just all of a sudden, it just, yeah, it said I left, connection error, and then, but it's all good now.
Yeah. I've run into all of those in the past. I used to do live streams a while back on this channel, like back in 2018, 2019, and then but I took all those live streams down because I realized, looking back at it, I'm like, oh, the quality was just not that great, and I'm like, it's not really helping my channel. So, and the viewers wasn't that great, so I took those live streams down because of that. I was doing like these self live streams of Star Wars discussion, but the background, it's just like the quality was not good. And I was doing videos set on this channel since before I knew how to edit. Like I did a video on I did a video I did a video on the Han Solo movie review, and that was the first video I've ever done on this channel. And that video was recorded inside of a McDonald's, a local McDonald's, and I just wanted to start a YouTube channel. And of course, I was starting over because I got rid of my last YouTube channel before then, because I realized, like, again, like, I didn't really like the videos weren't that great, and I'm like, I'm gonna start over because those videos weren't doing very well. So I started over, but eventually I just stuck to it and just kept going and going. And I got a shout out from a famous creator, like a couple of years ago. I think it was back in 23. I got a shout out, and then my channel got a boost to like 2,000, 3,000 subs. Hold on. Oh, it got disconnected. Hold on, Scruffy will be back. Oh, this or no. Star Wars needs to take notes on new animated show, the Ninth Jedi, and the Scruffy's rejoining.
Hey,
Some sort
sorry,
of disconnection
I think
again.
yeah, I found it's my internet. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
playing up today.
Well, yeah, I've had those days where the internet was not doing very well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
doing it
like
today. Yeah.
yeah. And which reminds me, like the reason why I did my first video inside of a McDonald's is because like I had no Wi-Fi at my house and I wanted to go somewhere where there's Wi-Fi and like and I wanted to get like a video out and I could have just recorded it at my house and then came to the McDonald's, but then I wasn't really thinking about that then.
Was
But
this
that was my
after
first
a
video.
Star Wars movie or?
It was about Han Solo, the Han Solo movie.
Oh, okay. So you had just seen it and you just wanted to get a review out there.
Yeah, I
Yeah, you're
wanted to get
just
a
eager
review,
to get in there. Yeah.
and I didn't want to like spoil anything about the film. So yeah, and also John Kill 3D Gaming just hopped on, and he said Star Wars needs to take notes from a new animated show, the ninth Jedi, and I don't have my reading glasses with me, but the ninth Jedi and uh, set a new trilogy thousands of years after the events of the movies. The so the so the can start fresh with the Jedi and the Sith. What are my thoughts on What are my thoughts on Ahsoka season 2? If Luke Skywalker has connections to Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what would you think about that?
I would if Luke Skywalker does come back, that would be great. I mean, I think that Luke Skywalker does need to come back in Ahsoka season 2 because we have Thrawn declaring war on the New Republic, and that's in the trailer for Ahsoka season 2. But we have Thrawn declaring war on the New Republic, and with all of that going on, like a similar thing happened in the EU with Thrawn, and we saw in the old EU, the old Thrawn trilogy, where Thrawn did pretty much the same thing, where he declared war on the New Republic, and it involved like Han, Luke, and Leia, and then I think that original trilogy characters like Han, Luke, and Leia have to appear in Ahsoka season 2, especially with Thrawn declaring war in the New Republic. And I'm not the only one who said that. Like I know
Hmm.
a few other creators, like Retini's Holocron, has said that. Yeah, so really, I think it would be great if we saw Luke Skywalker in Ahsoka season 2, and if he had connections with Grand Admiral Thrawn. I think that Thrawn is being set up for a Dave Filoni Star Wars movie.
Yeah, they should really bring the legacy characters back because I'm sure there's a lot of people that like Ahsoka, but it's been very sparse with Luke, Han, and Leia, and I think it would just be a positive thing for them if they just had them appear not just as secondary characters, but you know alongside Ahsoka. But I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah, I think that I forgot what I was going to say, but the Emperor John Kill 3D Gaming says that Luke has to show up. Possibility of Abeloth being awakened by Balin's skull, and that's something that I've been seeing a lot going around lately online. I've been seeing a lot of Abeloth theories that's going to be taking place, and my prediction is that for the majority of the season, Ahsoka and Sabine Wren are going to be stuck on Peridia, and Balin's skull is going to he's searching for something, and we're gonna see a huge confrontation with Balin Skull and Shin Hati, and also Ahsoka and Sabine Wren on Peridia. And eventually, Ahsoka and Sabine Wren will make their way back to the known galaxy. Oh, and now that I brought it up, I finally remembered what I was going to say earlier.
Oh,
If they were to bring back Luke Skywalker, don't do the deep fake. Do a recast. That'd be more of a
yeah.
simpler solution because they tried the deep fake with the Book of Boba Fett to make him look more like Mark Hamill. I think a recast would just be easier, like a
Yeah,
younger Luke
I agree.
Skywalker.
Yeah, they shouldn't rely on AI for things like that. They should
Yeah,
just do a recast.
yeah, I would agree with that. And then also,
Is Abeloth canon, or is she, or are people thinking she will be canonized?
I think people are thinking that she will be canonized.
Oh, okay, okay.
And then also, he says that Emperor John Kill 3D Gaming says that he likes the twist that stormtroopers are being undead, which was pretty interesting in the first season. And we saw like the Night Sisters resurrecting the troopers, and Thrawn eventually makes it to the known galaxy by the end of season one, and we see Thrawn like just immediately after that. And Ezra has also made it back to the known galaxy, and Ezra. It's going to involve Ezra, Thrawn, Sabine, and Ahsoka, and all of the original trilogy characters to stop Thrawn, because Thrawn from taking over the New Republic, because he's declaring war on the New Republic. So I think it's going to take all of those characters, and that's what's being set up for Dave Filoni's Star Wars movie. And Dave Filoni said that Ahsoka season 2 still needs to happen before his Star Wars movie.
Yeah, honestly, I think bringing the legacy characters would do um
Yeah.
the movie Filoni's film like a lot of favors, because yeah, just like I said before, like you barely see them, and I think obviously a lot of people want to see them.
Yeah, Emperor John Kill 3D Gaming says cast Sebastian Stan as Luke
Oh yeah,
Skywalker. He looks like Mark Hamill, except he's a little bit taller than Mark Hamill, I believe. But they can probably like make him appear shorter
yeah.
with the
I've
edits.
That's a fan cast I've seen for years.
Yeah, and then also basically says um, basically the second galactic civil war. So he's probably talking about Ahsoka season 2.
Oh yeah, it would be, because in the EU it happens in 40 ABY, but in
Yeah,
Disney it's happening like, is it like 5 years after Return of the Jedi? I forget
yeah.
how far along the Ahsoka show is set.
I mean, the way to think about it, according to like the expanded universe, like the Thrawn trilogy, and I know you made a video on this before, like the Thrawn
Mm.
trilogy, like feels like 7, 8, and 9, but it's not like it may not be like George Lucas's. It's not George Lucas's
Oh no.
original vision of 7, 8, and 9, but it's like the 7, 8, and 9 that was like in books written in the EU.
Yeah, and it's books that were written during the George Lucas era, and I feel
Yeah,
like that's the closest we'll get to having, a George-esque sequel trilogy, unless his estate releases something when he passes away, and kind of like what
yeah,
happened with Tolkien, where when
yeah. You still there? Kind of froze. Nine, 7 years ABY. You still there? on, let me message him on Discord again.
Okay,
Hello?
I'm back. Yeah, this is really bad. Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know. We might have picked a odd night to do this. The internet's not doing too well. Yeah. I mean, my internet right now is working just fine.
Yeah, mine's decided to cause a bit of trouble.
Yeah. But I've had days where my internet's been slow. Like I have Verizon internet, which I'm hoping to
Yeah,
get like
how are
Cox at
they?
some point. It's
Is
not really as
Verizon
good as like it's with the phone plan I have
Oh,
because I have
okay.
my phone
Yeah,
plan
yeah.
with Verizon Wireless.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah, I've done that before.
yeah. And then insert shot says he agrees. I think I know who insert shot is. I think that's Dan. I know he was my cousin's. I could be wrong, but insert shot, that was the name of his Instagram, and that's Dan from Michigan because I'm originally from Michigan, but I
All
live
right.
currently in Kansas. And Dan does marketing for Whirlpool, and he edits advertisements. He even taught me a few editing tricks on my channel.
Oh, that was pretty cool. Oh, okay, so he's confirmed it. Yeah.
Oh, he said, "Yep, it's him." Yeah, I figured it was him. And then Chris Sober. I'm terrible at pronouncing, but
No,
some
you're
things.
right.
But yeah, that would be interesting if they made those Star Wars books you were talking about. Uh, I just reread the Thrawn trilogy books. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they're pretty good books.
Yeah. The Thrawn trilogy, I would say, is like one of the best in the EU, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, I'd agree with that. It's up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. And yeah, like I was disappointed back in 2014, like when they weren't going in the same direction as the EU. But then later I came to an understanding like why they did it, and I'm like, and then I came up with the conclusion. I'm like, well, we're watching like a myth. We're watching like a myth, and this is like a myth. Star Wars is like a mythological story, and there can be many different versions of myths. So we have like the current canon, which is the continuity under Disney, and then we also have like the Legends canon.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got George's canon.
Yeah, and then you got George's canon, and then like what fascinates me is like back in 2020 when Star Wars Archives back in 19 back in 2020 Star Wars Archives like back back in 1999 through 2005 he would George Lucas went in and talked about his sequel trilogy and how he would have like basically like it shows that especially like with the villain part like we have Darth Talon becoming Darth Maul's apprentice and Darth Talon
Yeah.
existed in the Legacy comics which takes place over a century after Return of the Jedi and she attempts to turn the last descendant the great grandson of Luke Skywalker to the dark side and she was the apprentice of Darth Krayt in those comics. But then George Lucas took the idea because he liked the idea from the expanded universe, and he took the idea and he used it for his idea of a sequel trilogy. And of course, he never ended up making the sequels, but he took that idea and made her the apprentice of Darth Maul. And he talked about how he wanted to connect the prequels to the sequels, wanted it all to connect with Darth Maul becoming the big bad, and that was the reason why George Lucas made the decision to bring back Darth Maul in the Clone Wars.
It would have been really interesting to see George's sequel trilogy.
Yeah, and like I know there's people out there that want to see, like, I'm very interested in seeing George's sequel trilogy, but I'm not going to use it as a way of something to complain about the Disney sequel trilogy, because for me, I'm not one
Mm.
that likes to complain. Like, but I would, but what really makes me interested is like seeing all the concepts of what George would do for a sequel trilogy, um and I was like, maybe someday George Lucas will like write a book about his all of his ideas, putting all of his ideas together, and he'll like
That
write a
would be
book
good,
of what
yeah.
he would have done, and that would be interesting to see as well, and it'll include every detail and every thought of his mind for a sequel trilogy. Like even back in 1980, before he came up with the idea of Darth Maul and Darth Talon, the original plan for Luke and Leia was not intended to be brother and sister. That was not until Return of the Jedi when George Lucas decided to make Leia Luke's sister, because in the original outline for Return of the Jedi, the original ending would have ended with Luke Skywalker looking for his long lost sister, which was not Leia at the time, and she would her name would be Luca, and she would be training with a Jedi Master since birth. She wouldn't appear until Star Wars Episode 8, and she would have been the one leading the Jedi into the future. And that was an idea that George Lucas had back in the early 80s before he made Return of the Jedi.
Wow. I honestly, I didn't know that. Like, I knew Leia wasn't always intended to be Luke's sister, but I didn't know he had actually thought up a character and
Yeah,
plot and events. Like, that's wow. Imagine had he actually gone through with that. That wow, that blows my mind.
yeah. John Kill 3D Gaming says that the Bane trilogy is the second best trilogy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
The Bane
pretty
trilogy,
good.
yeah.
Like he created the rule of two, and the rule of two is canon currently right now. They brought the rule of
Oh
two
yeah.
idea to back to canon. So there's always two: the master and the apprentice.
And Bane was a character that George had made, but he let the expanded universe come up with a backstory and everything for him.
Back when the Force Awakens came out, um, I speculated that because we had this new bad guy called Snoke, and he seduced Ben Solo to the dark side, which is kind of Ben Solo's story is kind of similar to like Jason Solo in the EU.
Yeah.
There's a lot of parallels with Jason Solo and Ben Solo, and Ben Solo gets turned to the dark side by Snoke, and when I watched the Old Republic, the Knights of the Old Republic, and I see Darth Malgus and I see Snoke, and I compared like the same injuries. Like Snoke had the same injuries on the side of his face that Darth Malgus had, and I was like, uh, I wonder if Snoke could actually be Darth Malgus from the Old Republic, and that was kind of fun to
That's an
speculate on.
interesting theory. It's a good theory. I mean, I've seen ones where people said it was that the youngling that talks to Anakin before, Anakin does away with him. Like,
Yeah. And then I remember back when the Force Awakens came out, because it was a birthday present, because my birthday was in December, and it came out a couple days after my birthday. So there was a long line waiting behind the theaters to get in. And then when I finally got in, I got to sit in the very back, which I like sitting in the very back on the top row in the movie theater, because I get a better view of the screen. So I saw the big
yeah.
screen, and it was in 3D. And I remember like
Oh,
watching it. It was like
3D.
it was the most fun. It was a fun moment seeing a new Star Wars movie in theater because honestly, like before I heard of the buyout back in 2012, I honestly thought we would never see a Star Wars movie. I thought that six movies was just it. And but then once I heard about the buyout with Lucasfilm and they're going to make more Star Wars movies, that's what got me excited. So, you there? You still there?
Yeah, yeah. Let's just pretend like nothing happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So you got to see The Force Awakens in 3D when it came out.
Yeah. It was the most fun I've had. And then a year later I got to see Rogue One, and Rogue One was awesome. I loved Rogue One. Especially like at the end we see Vader and he's like slaughtering
Yeah,
all of the Rebel Alliance, and it's like that was the most badass scene that I've that I've seen a Vader do out of all of the Star Wars movies. And still to this day I love Rogue One.
yeah. I think
Andor
Rogue
was pretty
One's
good too.
yeah, Andor and Rogue One. I think they're probably the best things Disney Star Wars has done.
Yeah. In
The
terms
rest haven't really appealed to me.
like Andor, especially because it really focused on like Andor was more serious, and I love that's what I loved about it. Like we see Mon Mothma,
Yeah,
she had to sacrifice a whole lot uh, to set up the rebellion and to fund the rebellion. And I also like the scene where they were on Aldani, where they were where they were like robbing the Empire and taking all of the fortune. And yeah, Andor just really gives me the vibes. Like I enjoyed it, and I couldn't wait for the second season to come out. And we had to wait till 2025. Like it was originally supposed to come out in 2024.
oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. But yeah, and I also like the interrogation scene with I also like the interrogation scene with director Krennic. I think that was pretty intense.
Yeah, it's the show's got a lot of positive reception, and it's a shame that they're just not doing anything else
Yeah.
with Andor. Because I think, despite all of Disney Star Wars' flaws,
Yeah.
I think Andor is the best thing they've done.
I do have my criticisms for the Rise of Skywalker, but
Oh,
my
yeah.
complaint about the Rise of Skywalker is different from what everyone else is saying. Like my biggest complaint is like I felt like there wasn't enough in the film that made it feel like a conclusion to the saga. And it's not the fact that Palpatine was back from the dead. Like Palpatine came back from the dead in both continuities, the EU
Yeah.
and in canon. But um, as long as they did it in a way that would make sense, like in a way where it would make sense, uh, where Palpatine does come back from the dead, but I felt like there wasn't enough in the film to tie all nine films together, and it felt more like a conclusion to the sequel trilogy than it did to the rest of the saga. And maybe someday they'll do like maybe an extended edition where they add scenes and make it feel more like a conclusion to the saga. I would love to see that happen. But I'm not gonna go around like saying I'm not gonna go around like uh just constantly hoping for that to happen because I'm not I don't like to I don't like to waste my time on depending on something and that may or may not happen because you can't really predict the future, and my focus is only on the present.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. An extended edition would give Disney an excuse to make more money, that's for sure.
Yeah.
because the suits, they're motivated by money, so
I had
I don't
this
see why they couldn't do it.
crazy idea if they did the extended edition of the sequel trilogy, but it's just like what they did with like the original trilogy, almost like how George Lucas re-released it on special edition. Something similar with the sequel trilogy on extended edition. And I kind of came up with that idea. I'm like, what if they do that and it like make it in a way where it feels like it makes sense, but at the end of the day, I still enjoyed it. I mean, The Rise of Skywalker was my least favorite, but it was still enjoyable. Like to see the end of the Skywalker saga, to see every new Star Wars movie that comes out.
They're doing a another trilogy, aren't they? We just don't know who's doing it, like the director.
Yeah. They're doing the Simon Kinberg trilogy.
Okay. I haven't heard of that guy's name before. What is he? What's he done?
I haven't really heard much about him myself. I just know that I saw his name come up and they announced a new trilogy that he was going to be making.
Okay.
Like, before we get into this, I do want to share my screen because there is one guy that kind of inspired me a long time ago. He doesn't really make Star
Okay.
Wars videos anymore, but he's an inspiration for me. And
Yeah, go for it.
let me share a screen. Which one was it? Oh, right here. We can both see the screen.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. So yeah, this is our urban acolyte. And I wanted to go through this video because there's something you might learn from it. And then this is so I learned a lot of my Star Wars knowledge through him, a lot of the extra knowledge through him, and also through like Star Wars Explained. But we're not gonna go through Star Wars Explained in this live stream. But this guy was like the most inspirational at the time when I was making videos back before 2020, before the Rise of Skywalker. And he made this video after the Rise of Skywalker came out, but it's the truths about why Rey passed Luke Skywalker, and it's
Oh, that's
something that's
interesting.
really interesting. But I not to say that Luke Skywalker was a bad character because I like Luke
No, no.
Skywalker. But let's get into the video. Oh, alrighty.
What's up, y'all? My name is Prince, and I'm an urban acolyte. I'm going to hit you with a truth statement that some of you might not like, but it doesn't make it any less true. But hey, Rey passed Luke Skywalker as a Jedi. Rey was always going to pass Luke as a Jedi. Yoda told Luke and the audience in The Last Jedi that Rey would pass Luke. He said, "We are what they grow beyond," meaning it is the job of the student to surpass the teacher. Maybe some people wish to believe that Rey being in her position is some girl power move by Kathleen Kennedy, but I'm going to tell you something. Luca, Kira, or Rey, you can take your pick. They were all meant to surpass Luke. Back when George Lucas was still planning the Star Wars, which became Episode 4 A New Hope, Luke Starkiller was going to be from a family of space rangers who became the Jedi Order. Luke's other siblings and his father had also been a Jedi. At one point, Luke Starkiller was going to be Luca Starkiller, meaning Luke was going to be a girl. Lucas went so far as to plan ahead for episodes 7 through 9, where he would tell the finale of the Skywalker saga. Episodes 4 through 6 would deal with the redemption of Anakin Skywalker by following the adventures of Luke. Episodes 1 through 3 would show the fall of Anakin Skywalker. In episodes 7 through 9, Luke would meet his twin sister Luca, who had been training with a Jedi Master since birth. She would have been more powerful than Luke, and she would have been the Jedi Master to lead the Jedi into the future at the conclusion of the saga. What happened was that George changed his mind about some of those decisions he'd made with the story. When Yoda said there is another, it became Leia instead of the other twin sister on the other side of the galaxy that maybe Obi-Wan wasn't supposed to know about. Just like how Obi-Wan didn't lie about Anakin being killed by Darth Vader, because originally Anakin and Vader were not the same person from any point of view. I mean, it's funny how things keep changing. I mean, it's almost like Lucas didn't have a plan for future movies when he started out making Star Wars. But, I mean, we won't even mention Splinter in the Mind's Eye when Luke and Leia almost hooked up. So what happened is that Leia became the other Skywalker in Return of the Jedi, and Lucas never followed through with his plan to do episodes 7 through 9, where Lando would have replaced Han Solo, and a young woman would have been the hero of the sequel trilogy. Lucas waited 15 years to finally tell the fall of Anakin Skywalker in the prequel saga, and by the time Lucas decided to complete the saga, well, George Lucas had retired and sold his company to Walt Disney. The only thing he left were a few notes outlining how he would tell the story to complete his saga. What George Lucas left behind was a story outlining how a young woman on a junk planet would find Luke Skywalker, who had gone missing, and have to deal with a new threat from Palpatine's empire, a Jedi hunter inspired by Darth Vader, and deal with a family that was distraught over Ben Solo falling to the dark side. I mean, that sounds a whole lot like the sequel saga, except the part where the Jedi killer and Ben Solo are not the same person. So my guess is that Kira would have found Luke Skywalker, and based on the little that we do know, she would have discovered the wills and gained a knowledge that no other Jedi from the Skywalker saga possessed at the height of the Jedi's power. This would have caused her to surpass everyone as a Jedi. So what I'm saying is that whether it was Luca, Kira, or Rey, she was always meant to surpass Luke Skywalker. Now, on this channel, I talk a lot about the hero's journey in Star Wars, and if we look at the hero's journey, Rey did something that Luke did not. She returned to the mundane world. After Return of the Jedi, Luke went off searching for the Unity trees on that Imperial research facility during Operation Cinder. We saw Luke again, also during Operation Cinder, assist a member of Inferno Squadron at one of Palpatine's observatory stations. Luke found that compass that would eventually lead him to Ahch-To. So Luke spent years searching for Jedi relics and meeting people to learn other ways that people followed the Force outside of the Jedi Order's religion. After adventuring for possibly a decade, he took on Ben Solo as a student, established a training community, and took on other students. Luke lived a private life and, while the galaxy was largely unaware of what he was doing, it appeared that only those people that were close to Luke knew that he was attempting to create a new Jedi Order. So for Luke, there was no return to the mundane world. Now, let's look at the difference between Luke Skywalker and Siddhartha Gautama, or Shakyamuni Buddha. So if you're not hip to Buddhism, then you think there's only one Buddha, and the word Buddha just means awakened one, specifically one who is awakened to the true nature of things. There were many Buddhas before Siddhartha, and there have been many Buddhas after Siddhartha. So in Star Wars terms, let's think of Siddhartha or Shakyamuni as the first Jedi. And no, the first Jedi was not Snoke. I don't care what Star Wars theory told you. So the first Jedi was just that. I mean, he was the first Jedi, but there were other people who knew the Force and followed some religion where they became some kind of monks or created a religious order where they studied the Force and learned to manipulate it. I mean, just look at the group that Cal Kestis is investigating in Fallen Order, or look at the sages who saved Luke in that one story from The Legend of Luke Skywalker. So the first Jedi was the first person to study the Force in the way that the Jedi do, and then he taught other people what he found or what he discovered. So this is the same thing with Shakyamuni Buddha. Siddhartha left home at the age of 29 to find a way to deal with his anxiety about death, dying, and suffering. For 6 years, he sought out the best teachers, and he surpassed all of them. Eventually, he nearly killed himself from his extreme ascetic practices, and he found the middle way in the process. And then he sat for 7 days in a deep state of meditation, not vowing to move from that spot until he arrived at the solution to his suffering. After Siddhartha became enlightened, he sat for 7 more days in a state of perfect tranquility. Now, I said that there had been other Buddhas before Shakyamuni Buddha, so what made him so different? Those other enlightened beings chose to simply fade away, kind of like a Force ghost. They scattered to the wind, taking their experiences and their knowledge with them. Siddhartha made the decision to hang out, and he spent the remaining 45 years of his life sharing what he learned and building a community, the Sangha. Now, maybe you viewed what I just said as a history lesson, and although it's very much condensed, but what I just presented to you, that was the hero's journey. Like at the most basic level, the hero's journey consists of three things: separation, initiation, and return. In Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, Luke experiences separation when he goes out looking for R2-D2. This is the last time he will ever see Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. He has his initiation throughout the movie during his time with Obi-Wan Kenobi. And when he returns, he is a changed man. He is the hero of the rebellion. He destroyed the Death Star. He's a Force user. He carries a lightsaber. He's a Skywalker, just like the old Jedi general from the Clone Wars who disappeared and was believed to have been slain at the hands of Darth Vader, the Emperor's enforcer. In Empire Strikes Back, Luke is separated from his friends after the Empire crushes the Rebel Alliance meeting on Hoth to discuss how they're going to go all the way to Coruscant to take out the Emperor. Luke ends up traveling to the Dagobah system to meet Yoda, the Jedi Master who taught Obi-Wan. Yoda initiates Luke further into the ways of the Force and the Jedi, and Luke eventually returns to Leia with not only the knowledge of the Jedi, but the knowledge of what happened to their father, Anakin Skywalker. Then in Return of the Jedi, Luke is almost a Jedi. He is again separated from his friends when he goes to confront Vader and Sidious on the Death Star. He receives an initiation into the power of the dark side of the Force, and he nearly gives himself over to it. He's nearly struck down by it, but Anakin saves him from the Emperor. Luke returns to his friends, but then he leaves. Luke never really returns to the mundane world. He goes off looking for something to further validate himself as a Jedi. So it's like Lord Santeca said, without the Jedi, there can be no balance. And perhaps Luke did not have to restore the Jedi Order. I mean, according to Pablo Hidalgo, this was not actually something that Luke desired to do. That really wasn't Luke Skywalker's path, so maybe he was always meant to fail at it. There was never going to be any sort of Jedi praxis from the expanded universe in the cards for Luke Skywalker. You know what Luke Skywalker did do in the EU? In Legends, Luke returned to the mundane world. For the people interested, you can see that Rey's story has those same elements in each movie: separation, initiation, and return. So for whatever reason, you might feel that Luke's story was better told than Rey's, but that doesn't make Rey any better than Luke. I mean, who has the better story, Jordan or LeBron? Now, before you even think about your answer, look, it really doesn't matter. Jordan had his story of how he overcame obstacles of getting cut from his high school basketball team as a sophomore. We've all heard that story, right? Now, of course, the marketed version of that story doesn't tell you how freshmen and sophomore played JV and juniors and seniors played on the varsity. Jordan averaged over 20 points a game playing for the JV squad in his sophomore year. He was a blue chip recruit and an All-American coming out of high school, so he was a little bit more than just some kid who got cut from his high school basketball team and then turned into the greatest basketball player of all time. But I mean, that's Jordan's story. LeBron James has a story about growing up broke in the projects and growing up to secure generational wealth for his family. So when it comes down to it, who has the greater hero's journey? It doesn't matter, because the journey is the journey. Everyone's going to have a different story because everyone is different. Rey's story, her hero's journey, is going to be different from Luke Skywalker's story. So the reason that Rey surpasses Luke, it has nothing to do with Luke's manhood or Kathleen Kennedy tampering in George's story or some feminist agenda in Lucasfilm. I mean, if you really want to be upset, you need to be upset with George Lucas. He said that Luke's sister would be the more powerful of the Skywalker twins. And then on top of that, now we have Yoda wanted to train Leia. Leia had more weapons training than Luke. Luke said that Leia was the stronger of the two of them in The Rise of Skywalker. I mean, so how come Leia doesn't catch the same hate that people give to Rey? And when you think about it, Rey, as the student of both Skywalker twins, was put in a position to surpass both of them because Yoda said it is the role of the teacher to set up the student to grow beyond them. Rey goes through a small hero's journey even in the closing moments of The Rise of Skywalker when she separates herself from the Sith and everything that is her birthright as a Palpatine. She travels to Tatooine, the place where one woman, Shmi Skywalker, birthed, raised, and nurtured the Chosen One, Anakin Skywalker. Tatooine was the place where Anakin returned to bury his mother and be comforted in the arms of Padme, who he first met as a boy on Tatooine. After Anakin turned and Padme died, Luke was reared on Tatooine until the Empire came and killed his family, and Obi-Wan was able to finally begin his training. Rey, she returned to this place, and when a woman asked her a simple question, she saw Luke and Leia as Force ghosts, her initiation into their family, not just as their student, but as a member of the family, and Rey took on the name Skywalker. She became heir to their legacy. So now when people ask about the hero who helped defeat the First Order, the Final Order, and Palpatine, they will say it was a Skywalker. It was Rey Skywalker. Because at the end of the day, it was always up to Rey to complete what Luke didn't. It was up to her to return to the mundane world and restore the knowledge of the Jedi and the knowledge of the Force. It's why you have this kid, Karnuk Sin, who's collecting Force relics and using his powers of psychometry to learn the history of the Jedi. Karnuk Sin is waiting for a Skywalker to emerge so that he can basically become the new Jocasta Nu, the Jedi librarian who provides the Jedi history that was believed to have been lost. He's waiting for Skywalker, and with Luke dead, that leaves Rey. So Rey, she has to complete her hero's journey. She has to return to the mundane world. To quote a passage from Joseph Campbell's Hero with a Thousand Faces, the hero has died as a modern man, but as an eternal man, perfected, unspecific, universal man, he has been reborn. His second solemn task indeed, therefore, is to return then to us, transfigured, and teach the lessons he has learned of a life renewed. Rey was a scavenger on Jakku, but that identity was left behind the minute she boarded the Millennium Falcon. She became Rey of Jakku, or Rey Nobody, when she trained with Luke on Ahch-To. She eventually learns that she is Rey Palpatine and one half of a dyad in the Force with the offspring of Anakin Skywalker, the Chosen One. Rey and Ben Solo became the embodiment of Palpatine's failure, and they bring about his final defeat. In the process, Rey literally dies, and she is reborn through the power of Skywalker, the same power she gave Ben Solo to turn him away from the dark side of the Force. He ends up returning back to her. Rey experiences a literal death and rebirth, and she rises through the power of the Force as Rey Skywalker, no longer a Palpatine. Her final task is to pass on the lessons that she's learned as a life renewed, literally. So this is what it means to answer the call of the hero, to be the wise person who tells the hero about the boon. The hero undergoes the process of transformation, and when they complete that journey, they must return as the giver of boons in order to share their teachings with a new generation of aspiring heroes. Luke Skywalker, to some, is the ultimate boon giver, but when we look at his actual story, this isn't who he becomes. There's no return to the world of the mundane. And look, this doesn't make Luke Skywalker a failure. He underwent a personal journey and he tried to do those things. He failed, but his failure created the possibility for Rey to leave Jakku, find him, defeat Palpatine, and continue where he left off. So Luke stood his watch, and now it's time for Rey to stand hers. And the only way that she can carry the beacon of the light side into the future is if she succeeds where Luke failed. So for there to be more of this Jedi stuff moving forward, it is only necessary that Rey surpasses Luke. And now, I don't want people to hear this and dive into these whataboutisms. What about Finn? What about this thing in the story? What about that thing that happened in the story that I didn't like? Look, you need to look at the hero's journey based on what actually happens in the story and not what you wished happened or what you would have rather seen happen. That's not being present. That's not being focused. And it makes so little sense I can't even say it. Look, the stuff that I'm talking about, it's actually bigger than Star Wars, and too many people are wasting time engaging in wish fulfillment and commenting on things that they can't even control. Look, to me, that's a waste of time, and it's not something that I wish to do. So have those conversations somewhere else. Look, the purpose of this video is to only tell you that Rey surpassed Luke, how she surpassed him, and why it was necessary. I mean, if you don't like it, look, that's your choice, but it won't change the story. So, I mean, it is what it is. And really, that's all I have to say on this topic. So, thanks for watching. Y'all keep on breathing, and may the force of others be.
So, did you pick up on anything?
Yeah, I remember watching this guy during the like early years of Disney Star Wars. So it's kind of a nostalgic trip for me watching this guy. But
Yeah.
yeah, just learning about, the intended purpose of Luke and how Leia would be, the one that's the Grand Master by the end of the saga, the stronger of the two.
And he also did another video. Like this was like back. This video was made before the Star Wars Archives book came out. But then when the Star Wars Archives book came out, he also talked about some of like, as you can see, like over the years, like George Lucas, and this also tells me that George Lucas had different ideas for a sequel trilogy during different periods of times. Like he didn't always keep the same idea. And it's the same thing with like the prequel or the original trilogy. He didn't always keep the same idea. And that's what this guy was talking about. Yeah, his name is Urban Acolyte, and he was one of my biggest inspirations at the time before he stopped making Star Wars videos. He does Golden Bell training where he talks about Bruce Lee, and his that channel is doing better. But he made some pretty good videos, and he says things the way they are. That's what I liked about him. Is he wasn't like these other Star Wars channels that were constantly putting misinformation out, like kind of like Mike Zero in a way. Mike
Oh,
Zero
I
would just
remember.
make
Yeah.
Mike Zero would just make 5 videos a day. One of them might get 50,000, and then the rest might get 2 or 3,000 views. And to me, that's like throwing mud up the wall and seeing what sticks when you make 5 videos a day on Star Wars news, just throwing stuff out there. And to me, I don't like doing that because that's just not me in general. If I'm reporting on Star Wars news, I'll cite my source where it's coming from, but I'm not gonna make that like a 5 time a day habit because there's no way that Lucasfilm or Disney is revealing stuff 5 times a day about every new Star Wars project. Otherwise, every new Star Wars project would be completely spoiled.
Yeah, and it's just Mike Zero would make these like completely outlandish claims and these made up things about, Lucasfilm or civil war at Lucasfilm and Disney is gonna retcon the sequel trilogy, all that, just to get views and everything.
Yeah. And Overlord DVD did something similar. Although Overlord DVD, he made
Yeah.
a video about the sequel trilogy getting a reboot, which that video got debunked real fast by this guy. He was able to debunk it. And he told people why you shouldn't place your hope in a sequel trilogy being rebooted, and gave all the evidence, because if they were to reboot the sequel trilogy, they would have to undo everything they've done since 2012, because
Yeah,
everything that's
exactly.
canon would lead up to the movies and every new Star Wars project that comes out. Like he made a video about an ongoing civil war inside Lucasfilm where Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni or John Favreau won the Civil War, and they went out and debunked those claims. And John Favreau said that the Mandalorian leads to the sequel trilogy. I remember all of those times. And then Overlord DVD, one of the people in his Star Wars fan group saw that he was making up stuff and called him out for it. And then, like, if people like me or Star Wars only, or this guy makes videos debunking him, he doesn't care. But when it's somebody in his group, he has like a meltdown on Twitter over it.
Wow,
I
really?
saw all
That's
of the
wild.
meltdowns. Like he got, and these are people that I don't like either. Like they're people like Ryan Kennel and
Ah,
Overlord
yeah.
DVD, and yeah, those people are not very good either. On top of like, I feel like with Star Wars fans, like in general, we need to like stop being like so toxic towards other Star Wars fans. Like all of this toxic behavior doesn't matter if it's like the Gatekeepers Alliance or the Fandom Menace, like those type of people. I know the Fandom Menace doesn't really exist anymore, but there's still people from that group, and it's kind of all the toxic behavior. It's generally coming from them, and I feel like we need a more positive Star Wars fandom. Like we don't all have to like the same things or see eye to eye on everything Star Wars, but we should at least be able to like respect everyone's opinions. Because to me, I feel like for example, like I would never call anything Star Wars real or fake, and that would just be excluding people who Star Wars fans who love something that about Star Wars that I don't love as much. But I'm not going to call it fake Star Wars because I saw something I didn't like.
Yeah, it's just if people like Disney Star Wars or if they like some other version, it's just, you know, who cares? Like, if I'm not a big fan of a lot of things, but if someone likes it, it's not going to destroy my life. So I don't really understand why people go after, you
Yeah.
know.
And I've had people come after me several times in the past because I like this, and then I've had people comment saying that nobody cares about this show. Why are you talking about it? But then I end up blocking a lot of those people because people like that are just they're just negative. Like all this negativity
Mm,
in the fandom. It's I like to be more positive. Like being a positive Star Wars fan is not just like it doesn't mean like you need to like everything Star Wars has done. That's not the case at all. You don't have to like everything like you don't have to like Disney Star Wars, you don't have to like the EU, you don't have to you can only yeah, you like what you like as a Star Wars fan, but being
yeah,
negative and
exactly.
having and being toxic, that's just to me that's not right.
Yeah, no,
And
I agree with what you're saying. I,
yeah,
I, I can't, I don't see the benefit, in attacking someone for liking something that I don't, because, it's,
yeah,
yeah, it doesn't do me any good, and it doesn't really change anything at the end of the day. It just, if anything, it makes the other person, more diehard as a fan for the thing they like. So you're just giving that person more of a reason to be a fan of that thing you don't like.
yeah. And but at the end at the end of the day, like I took this like I had like somebody like Star Wars Forge. He made like 3 videos on me, and one
Yeah,
and
that's
then
just
he literally like made a video. He's like, "What's up, Star Wars fans? I just have to tell you that I'm Darth Watts," and then just went on and then he also showed what was in his book, which didn't really prove to me anything. And then he called me a stupid dumbass, and I just the thing is I saw his video, and then I've had people go in there and like Justin. I don't know, you've heard of Justin Avarillo?
yeah. I've seen him around. Yeah,
Yeah, like he went in there and started defending me, and but then he a lot of times he like does like hashtags, like he does the hashtag method from the Knights of Melvin, but
Oh yeah,
other
yeah, I've
other
seen
than
that.
that, he's using that as like against what they're doing, like not really like being for what they're doing.
So
But at the same time, he goes in there and trolls them.
so why did Forge make videos on you? Like why was he upset with you?
Because I made a video back in 24 about the Star Wars expanded universe and how it wasn't like considered G canon like George Lucas canon, and he got mad about it and then made a video mocking me on it.
Oh God. Wow. Okay. So
Like
yeah,
it
that's the
was
thing. I don't understand. Like, how does that benefit his channel in any way?
it
Making
does
fun of someone.
it doesn't really, because I haven't seen any growth in his channel. I've
I
seen his
think.
channel like stay where it's at. Were you gonna say something?
Oh no, it's all right. You go ahead. I'm just. Yeah, I never really understood why people do things like that.
No. And the thing is there's many good groups of positive Star Wars fans to be a part of. Like I like there's a one channel I really like. Let me add real quick. Hold on. I'm gonna share something real quick. Let me share another screen. So yeah, I'm gonna pull up I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm talking about. But
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I've seen this guy around. Yeah.
yeah, it's this guy. He made a video on me, and he says Star Wars Legends was never canon, and then this went around at like it was like a mockery video, and then he also did another one, a Darth Watts parody, and he tried to sound like me, but he didn't really sound like me. Like this one right over here.
If you want a professional looking live stream without needing an entire production team, you need to
So
start
I
using
don't know, like
Restream. From
why,
product
because
launches to web.
the expanded
Star Wars
universe
fan.
was canon.
Like
You
it
know.
was canon it was canon like according to like Lucasfilm licensing,
Yeah.
but it
So
wasn't
I
like
don't.
it wasn't the same canon as like George Lucas would consider like as his personal canon.
No, George liked the expanded universe, and he would take things from it, but to say that he viewed it on the same level as his movies is not correct.
No. And yeah, like he liked ideas like I mentioned earlier in the stream of Darth Talon.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
Darth Talon, for example, was like Darth Talon was an idea that George Lucas really liked, and he pulled the character idea to
Yeah,
fit his
exactly.
like sequel trilogy. But it wasn't meant to be in like the same way as like told in the expanded universe.
And he even reused Asajj Ventress for TCW.
Yeah,
She was an expanded universe character, and he brought her into TCW. So there's like I got a whole video on it where George has used things from the expanded universe that he liked heaps of times, but he didn't view it as nothing.
yeah. And yeah, this guy, like he doesn't even like sound like me. And but I'm like, if you're gonna make a video mocking me, like you should at least try to sound like me.
Oh boy, this. Oh man.
But yeah, he doesn't sound nowhere near like me. But yeah, he made a video on me, and then like the comments, like I get called like Darth Low Watts from these people. Like Iron Inquisitor, he called me
What?
Darth Low Watts. And
Oh, okay. So Iron Inquisitor does this sort of thing as well. Okay.
yeah, Iron Inquisitor does, and he's come after me quite a few. He's come after me quite a few times. He made for example, I also got called like a robotic gap from him as well.
Gap. What's Gap?
Like a Grogu attracted person.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like this one, he made a
Oh,
video.
man.
He thought I was Windows and just did my face right there.
I mean, I don't get it. What's this video supposed to do exactly? Is it? I guess they're just trying to get a reaction from you. I guess they're trying to make content out of you, but it
They are.
hasn't, obviously.
It hasn't really worked, um, but then there's also some drama between him and Backseater. Like Backseater is the worst. I don't like him at all. He's
I think,
kind of
yeah, Backseater and Brandon, I don't think they're on good terms either.
no, they're like even some of them people in the group like I mentioned before, like they just kick people out of their group just for the slightest disagreements. It's like everybody, it's like a cult sort of thing. You know how a cult
Yeah,
people in a cult, they just agree with everything and they follow whatever their cult leader does. That's exactly how these people behave. They just behave like a cult where they just believe whatever their leader, like OG says, whatever OG says, whatever Darth Melvin says, whatever all of those people said. When you blindly like follow a cult, then you have like no critical thinking or common sense.
it's not a very secure group because usually there's a lot of friction between the members in the group. Like as we see, there's Backseater and Forge, and then Brandon and Backseater, they have issues, and I don't know. It's just
Yeah, like
it's a wild group, as you can see.
Like earlier today, Lucky Kennedy pointed out something from on Twitter, and this was from OG's post, and she made a post about she made a post about the original trilogy, saying that the original theatrical cut doesn't exist anymore. And I just laughed because
That's
Lucky
not
Kennedy
true.
shared that with me on Discord, and I just laughed. I thought it was funny because that she said that because she clearly forgot about the 2006 limited
Yeah,
edition, and not just the 2006 limited edition, but there are ways you can do a despecialized edition order. And I know this as a Star Wars home video collector myself. Like I buy a lot on eBay, but then there's a way to specially order it on despecialized edition. You can get like the 4K 77. There's ways you can get the original cut. So I just laughed, but then Lucky Kennedy literally went after her. Lucky Kennedy said that let me pull it up real quick.
yeah. That's surprising that she would say that because, like, when I was with them, she was always people said she was the expert in everything Star Wars, and I feel like this is a pretty basic thing I think most people know about, is that in 2006 you could get the original cut.
She complained about Thrawn declaring war on the New Republic in the Ahsoka trailer. Like she failed to realize that also happened in the EU with Thrawn. There's similar things with Thrawn in the EU, like what they're taking up inspiration now, and she complained about it like she doesn't know that also existed in the EU. I think I shared that to you.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the amount of things that Kennedy has shown is just, yeah, it blows my mind.
Yeah, and the thing is like Kennedy like really like for some reason, like Lucky Kennedy lives rent free in their heads. Like they make tons of posts about Lucky Kennedy, like and this stuff, like accuse Lucky Kennedy of being a stalker, but they fail to realize that most of the stuff that Lucky Kennedy gets is from other people. Like
Yeah,
Darth Momo, for example.
yeah, I remember they accused Momo of being a stalker as well.
Yeah, but didn't you like leak to Lucky Kennedy about the screenshots of them going on Chris Chan meltdown mode?
Yeah, there's just some, yeah, a
Before,
lot of things were said, and yeah, I did share those things with Kennedy because it's just, you know,
yeah, because he reshared those things with me, and I was like, oh dang, these are the type of people that I'm dealing with.
yeah, and I just didn't want to be associated with that in any way because, you know, I've seen things happen on the internet for a long time to know that groups like these end up having infiltrators and then things get exposed. And I thought, you know what? I don't agree with a lot of the things they say here. I should really just distance myself from it all.
Yeah, and like they kind of like shot themselves in the foot because they're going after people that could be on their side that have a much larger following, but they have the slightest disagreement, so they want to feel like they're bigger and better than everyone else and just go after them, and they don't realize that they're killing their own channels by doing that.
Yeah, yeah, the way they're going about it, they're not going to really have any channel growth because the type of environment they're promoting is a very elitist environment. And it's not going to work if you want to get in the mainstream viewers. Because if you get the mainstream viewers in, you could then show them the EU and you could get them onto it. But what they're doing is it's just driving people away from the EU.
Yeah, and that what they're doing is like they're basically like saying that they're basically like giving the EU what, like especially with them like pushing their agenda like on the EU, like they're making the EU, like making people not want to check out the EU.
Oh yeah, like I've definitely had a few times where, you know, people assumed, you know, I was with them or I was doing the same things they do because I'm an EU, Star Wars EU content creator. So I think people are already starting to generalize expanded universe content creators.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna use and its thing is they use EU in a way to like bash like the current canon under Disney, Star Wars, and like there are also things like I like the EU, but there's also things that I like about the Disney continuity, and I like the George Lucas canon. Like to me, it doesn't really matter like what continuity of Star Wars. Like I just love Star Wars in general. And
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
what's funny is like I like well, of course I haven't read every single EU book because there's so many out there, and I haven't been all that caught up in the EU. Like I've only read a few
Hmm.
books here and there, but then I've also watched videos on the whole EU timeline. Like I know like there's the EU timeline where it goes like 25,000 years before the events, or however long, like before the events of the films, to the Old
Yeah, it's a
Republic,
really big
to
timeline.
yeah, to the Old Republic, to the events of the films, and then after the events of the films, where we have Luke Skywalker getting married to Mara Jade, and then we have Han and Leia having kids. They both have kids. We have Ben Skywalker, Jason and Jaina Solo, and Anakin Solo. Although Anakin Solo gets killed during the Yuzan
Yeah.
Vong War, and Jason Solo turns to the dark side, but the difference between Jason Solo and Ben Solo, even though there's a lot of parallels between the two characters, like from the current canon to Legends, Jason Solo doesn't get a redemption, and Ben Solo does get a redemption.
Yeah, yeah, because Jaina is the one that has to go and kill him, and he dies a villain, whereas
Exactly.
Ben dies redeemed.
So basically, where I'm getting at is like I kind of know the basic lore, but I haven't like read every single book in the EU
Oh
yet.
yeah, like there's a lot of books to read, so I'm trying to get through them all. But yeah, there's a lot of books. But I feel like Disney will eventually make more books than what Lucasfilm did before 2012, and it'll just be way more books for people who want to read the Disney continuity.
And not to mention, it was a good thing that George Lucas allowed the books to happen, is because it helped fund the prequel trilogy that he made. It
Exactly.
helped
Yeah.
fund the Clone Wars, and it helped fund all of the things that George Lucas was going to do in the early 2000s that he wanted to do.
Yeah, and it was the Thrawn trilogy that showed George and the rest of Lucasfilm that there was still an interest at that time for Star Wars.
And that's when like in the late 90s, George Lucas decided to finally tell the fall of Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
Like which reminds me, I wanted to bring up that I already did a YouTube short on my channel about the Anakin Skywalker and why his death makes the most sense. Like I wanted to go into like his storyline, like from the time like he was a boy on Tatooine to the time where he ends up dying, but like why did he have to die? Like aside from his injuries, we know his injuries contributed, but
Oh yeah.
there's a bigger reason why. And I explained why it makes sense, and I explained uh, how even if he were to survive, the galaxy would not be able to forgive Anakin for his actions. Like he would still be known as scum to the rest of the galaxy for what he's done. But in the eyes of Luke Skywalker, after turning his own father to the light side and seeing that there's still good in him, Luke Skywalker ended up forgiving him. And then it took Leia a while to forgive her father, especially like with the destruction of Alderaan in A New Hope. But I explain that there's like a bigger reason aside from the injuries, aside from all that why he couldn't survive Return of the Jedi. And the biggest one of all is that his death was justified because of everything that happened with him and all of his actions. Like
So it's kind of like a karmic thing, like a karma thing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like even though like, and I see people say that they want Ben Solo to survive, but Ben Solo still committed those horrible actions, even though he's redeemed as a character and helped the Emperor, like help destroy the Emperor, helps Rey destroys the Emperor. Like after all of that happened, like after all that happened, Ben Solo ends up ends up dying at the very end, and the reason why he couldn't survive, because if he did, there would still be major consequences on his actions. Like
exactly.
he can't just redeem himself one day and come to the galaxy like saying that he's all good now after all that he has committed. He still needs to like pay for his actions. So I can understand why people want Ben Solo to be alive, but if you take a look at the bigger picture, his death was justice, just like Anakin's death was justice, because nothing can truly undo the actions that he's done. But he's redeemed as a character, but not like in the eyes of the galaxy.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It makes sense because, there's a big debt to be paid for Anakin and Ben for all the damage and destruction they did on the galaxy. And there's just no way they'd be able to live, normal lives after everything they had done.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to explain. And I'm working on a long form video where I'm going to go in more in depth and explain it more in depth. But I've been wanting to do this video for a long time on my YouTube channel and
That would
explain
make
that
for a
to
good
people.
video, yeah.
And I want to make sure I'm doing this video right so I can at least because I noticed lately my YouTube videos where I'm doing Star Wars news, they aren't getting the views as much as they would if I were to do a lore video. Because usually the videos on Star Wars lore is what gets you the views on YouTube. Explaining more about the characters that we all know and love and what people like the most, and just going in depth and explaining depth and explaining all of that. That's what helps with the algorithm on YouTube these days. Because if I were to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
Star Wars news, it's not really helping my views. Because I used to get more views than what I'm getting right now. I used to get at least a few hundred views per video, or if not more.
I think it's probably just due to the overall, what's the word? I want to say reception, but I don't think that's the word. It's just how people feel about Star Wars in general right now. I don't think there's this massive, massive hype for Star Wars, and where
It's
everyone's just constantly looking for videos to watch on Star Wars on the new thing. If that makes sense.
yeah, especially if I were just to talk about everything that's coming out under Disney. If I were to go back and talk about for example, what was Luke Skywalker doing during between the events of the Empire Strikes Back and A New Hope, or what was Luke Skywalker up to post Return of the Jedi, doing videos on Luke Skywalker, doing lore wise videos. People would genuinely care more about that and would be clicking on the videos then. Or if I were to do a video on Anakin Skywalker, because people also love Anakin Skywalker, and also talking about Vader. And that was also another one as well.
Yeah, I think you should go for it. I think it'd do your channel a whole world of good to do lore videos like that.
Because that's what I've been wanting to do, or even videos on Qui-Gon Jinn, because people loved Qui-Gon Jinn. People loved Obi-Wan Kenobi, which Obi-Wan Kenobi is my favorite Jedi. And the reason why he's my favorite Jedi, he's so inspirational as a character. The way he is in the prequel trilogy is what was the inspiration for me. I remember as a kid, I mentioned this before, I wanted the Jedi Padawan hairstyle like Obi-Wan Kenobi in episode 1. I thought that was a pretty cool hairstyle to have. But then
Yeah,
my mom was like, no, you're not getting the hair. You're not getting that hairstyle. But I wanted the Obi-Wan Kenobi Jedi Padawan hairstyle.
it just shows how much of how important Obi-Wan was to you.
Yeah, Obi-Wan was the most inspirational character for me. So, but yeah, I feel like with Star Wars these days, the most special was the original 6 movies and the characters that we all know and love. That's what's more important about Star Wars. And doing lore wise videos, based on I could do lore videos on both continuities, on the canon and legends.
Exactly.
But if I were to do videos on legends continuity as well, that would also get the views of Legends Luke or Legends Vader. I'll read the book The Rise and Fall of Darth Vader and maybe do some lore videos on that.
Yeah, you could do a video comparing, you could do a video comparing both versions of Vader or both versions of Luke
Yeah. Like I could do like I know a YouTube channel that does all that. Let me pull him up real quick. Let me just exit out of here real quick. Let's go on. Share screen. All right. Yeah, Retney's Holocron. I don't know if you've ever heard of his channel before.
I've seen his name in a few places, but I haven't watched any of his stuff.
Like, this is what he does. Like, he talks about, like, what Luke's thoughts were, what Obi-Wan did to Anakin, Legends. This is Legends continuity, by the way.
Yeah.
And his video got, like, 313K views. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
These are the type of videos that I probably should be doing. Like, I'm not going to exactly, like, copy the type of content that he's doing, but, like, put it in my own perspective.
Yeah,
But do
have your own
more
style.
videos
Yeah.
like that. Like, these are the types of videos I should be doing on my channel. Like Star Wars news should be like the bare minimum of what my channel does. Like, maybe like once, like only if something major comes out, like if there's like a trailer for a Star Wars Starfighter or some wild plot leak, like I'd do a video reporting on it. But for the most part, like I'd probably stick with these doing videos like this. And I'm also a member of his channel, by the way. I became a member back a few months ago because I really loved these like lore videos. Like this is Disney stuff, but then he does like legend stuff and Disney, and just goes right back and forth basically.
Just does both. Yeah, it gives him plenty of content to do.
Like he does even 2-hour long videos on Sidious lore, but even then, like these videos get pretty good views. Like some of them are like down in like the thousands of views, but then there's some that get like over 100,000 views.
It's pretty good, yeah.
And he has like, and that's pretty good for a channel with over 148K subscribers.
Wow.
Like,
yeah, that's some good stats, yeah.
But yeah, this guy is like very inspiration now, and he's like my new inspiration since Urban Acolyte. Well, I found him not too long ago, but I've been looking for other channels to be my next inspiration because Urban Acolyte is not making videos on Star Wars anymore. So I've been looking around finding other channels, and this is I found this one, and like as far as like the way he does his videos and what his views are on Star Wars, it's kind of like me and him like think alike. And I comment on every single one of his videos. I call him Grandmaster Red. I'm like, well explained, Grandmaster Red. But yeah, he always likes my comments when I do that. So
that's pretty good. Yeah, he's pretty good with engaging with his audience.
And he just recently made me like a moderator on his channel.
Oh, cool. Wow, so you're up there with him. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So pretty much up there. I did send him an email not too long ago because this is how it all started. Like this is when I was dealing with people from the Gatekeepers Alliance back in February, and Brandon the Awesome was coming on my stream, like not on my stream, but on my videos harassing me. And he's like, so many things wrong here. And then I found a video of Dave Filoni saying the only thing George Lucas considered canon was the movies and the TCW series, and that was it. It was all set in stone. So I downloaded that video, not realizing it was from this channel, and then I uploaded it to my channel. But then about a few hours later, I got a copyright notification in an email that he noticed that I used the content.
Okay.
So I quickly took that down because I was like, I don't want any trouble here. So I quickly
Oh
took
yeah.
that down. And so I took that down, but then I came up with a decision. Like I sent him I started sending him an email. I sent him a few emails already, but I sent him an email like an apology about the content use, and it was not intended to do any harm or anything. It was just me trying to cite my sources and stuff, but I should have been like more careful based on like fair use terms. But ever since then, like ever since then, ever since then,
Oh, you all good?
yeah, I've been looking at my text messages.
Ah, okay. It's all good.
Yeah. But yeah, ever since then, like ever since then, the whole the whole I lost my train of thought because I was looking at those text messages.
Oh, you were talking about how you accidentally used Retine's video. Yeah. It was a good thing you sent an email.
Like I
That
sent
was the
an
smart
email,
thing to do, yeah.
an apology. Like I didn't want anything to do with it. Yeah. Hold on, let me send this message real quick. I'll be right back.
No, you're all good.
I was talking about the long hair part. Constantly getting a haircut. All right, I'm back.
All right, sweet. All good.
So, basically, basically the shoot.
No,
All
you're
right,
all
so
good,
I
man.
had people texting me and this, yeah.
Yeah, no, you're all good.
But anyways, like Retney's holocron, like I sent an apology to him, and then but then I saw his channel. I really liked his channel, so I was like, I sent another following email about 2 months later, and I sent like another following email like 2 months later, and um like he said that yeah, he hasn't like responded yet, but I said like I requested like if I could do like a live stream with him at some point as well. Like I sent a request to like do like a Star Wars one-on-one discussion, like not a debate, but like a
Yeah.
Star Wars one-on-one discussion with him. And he hasn't gotten back to me, but I sent him that in a follow-up email. But with a channel with over 148K subscribers, I'm not expecting like a quick response because he probably gets like
Oh, yeah, a
thousands of
whole lot of
emails a day.
emails, yeah.
So I figured I might just send follow-ups just to stay on his radar, but like not
Yeah.
enough to like completely annoy him or anything. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, it's like, but yeah, it's like, um, but yeah, this channel's like the greatest inspiration for me now. I finally found
Yeah.
someone that's like kind of like-minded like me. But yeah, this guy, he's from Chicago and I'm from Kansas, so we're not that far away.
Oh
And
wow. So if he does a fan meetup, you'd be able
yeah,
to.
in fact, he lives like Chicago's only 3 hours away from where I'm originally from, because I'm originally from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, um, has the live stream started? Yes, the live stream has started.
Well,
Someone asked, has the live stream started?
oh yeah, I can see the chat. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder who that is.
Doom Slayer for real this time. They're a Doom fan, that's for sure.
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly who that is, but yeah, the live stream has already started. But yeah, it's like, but yeah, this, like, I was looking for a channel like this for a long time. It was like, it was great getting to know. And thing is, also another part of like channel growth is like getting to know other creators too. Like getting to know other
Yeah,
creators that are like-minded like you.
yeah,
Because
that's
that's
the fun
also
part.
very
Yeah.
helpful. Like me and Retney's Holocron, we both think alike. And he's 3 hours away from where I'm originally from, Grand Rapids, Michigan, like earlier. And I've been living in Kansas since I was 12. And no way, I take that back. Since I was 11. It was back in
Oh, it's a long time.
2012
Yeah.
when I first moved to Kansas. Um and right before then, like, I was really like, even before then, like, I had my Star Wars themed birthday party when I was 11.
Oh
And
yeah.
this was
Yeah,
the
you've posted that. Yeah.
that was my last birthday before I moved to Kansas. So
Oh well, that's definitely a way to. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a special occasion, like a special birthday.
yeah. But basically, like, when I was a kid, like, I wanted, like as I mentioned earlier in the video, and about the Obi-Wan Jedi Padawan hairstyle, like the closest to a Obi-Wan Jedi Padawan hairstyle that I've gotten when I was a kid, because I just got like some text messages, like I didn't get like the long, you know that like long, like braided, that's like real thin hair that the
Oh
Jedi
yeah.
Padawan hair has.
Mm.
I didn't get that like I wanted, but I got like the kind of like haircut that I wanted, but it wasn't like a long type. It wasn't like a long like braided or anything
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
not
I get what you mean.
exactly identical to what Obi-Wan, but it was like the hair layout was like the same way, like on the top.
Oh, okay.
That was
Yeah.
the closest I've ever gotten to a Jedi Padawan hairstyle. And that's what that's what I got, because one of my family members is watching my live stream right now, and I wanted to bring up that I got something similar to what Obi-Wan had, but it wasn't like it didn't go exactly like Obi-Wan Kenobi, like with the braided long. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was the closest you could get
It
to
was the
it.
closest I could get to a Jedi Padawan hairstyle.
It still felt pretty good, like on the day when you had it.
Yeah, it still felt pretty good. But yeah, I always wanted Obi-Wan Kenobi, like I said before, is always my greatest inspiration. So yeah, and she sent me some pictures too, which I'll send on Discord real quick.
Okay.
But yeah, it was like close.
Yeah, Anakin's hairstyle was what I wanted when I was a kid. Never got to do it, but if I know when I was a kid, I liked his hairstyle. Well, Episode
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, I liked Obi-Wan's the best. Anakin had a similar hairstyle in Attack of the Clones,
Yeah.
and I liked that too. So, um, here's I'm sending that to you right now on Discord. My mom just sent me a picture, so I'm sending that
Okay.
to you on Discord. But it was the closest to like an Obi-Wan Kenobi hairstyle.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty close to it. Yeah.
Except like the braided part or yeah, except for the long braids or
Mm.
that thin braid that hangs down.
It's pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty close to a Jedi Padawan hairstyle. But that's what I've always wanted to have since when I was a little kid. So yeah, it was a really cool haircut. And I remember there was this other Obi-Wan Kenobi hairstyle, but it wasn't the Jedi Padawan, it was more the Jedi Master when I went to get my haircut. And it was like more of like it's kind of like a regular hairstyle, but it was more like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Mm.
Like there wasn't any that like it was more like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Revenge of the Sith. I
Oh, because
remember
Episode
that
3
too.
style. Yeah.
But yeah, prequel Obi-Wan is my favorite Obi-Wan. I also like Alec Guinness's Obi-Wan in A New Hope, but I would have to say prequel Obi-Wan is the best in my opinion.
Yeah. George picked the right guy to play as Obi-Wan for the prequels.
And as we see Obi-Wan in like the Kenobi show, like for example, as we see Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Kenobi show, um, he's becoming more and more like Alec Guinness. Like they could really make him look like Ewan McGregor, look like Alec Guinness as he gets older and older. And they could probably do more stuff with the character in the future.
Yeah, I think they're doing a season 2. I was told the other day that they're doing a season 2. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's true either. Let me look that up. They're doing a season 2. Because I don't think I've heard rumors going around, but I don't think it's actually confirmed yet. Says as of August 2026, a second season of the Disney Plus Obi-Wan Kenobi has not been officially confirmed yet or greenlit by Lucasfilm. So it's just like
Okay.
talk for
Yeah.
right now. But it's
Okay.
not to say
Yeah.
that there isn't going to be an Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2, which honestly, I think Obi-Wan Kenobi as itself would have done better as a movie. Because I think it was
Oh,
originally
yeah.
supposed to be a movie. And I
Yeah,
kind
it
of
should have
I
been a
kind of would like
movie.
it to be as a I would kind of like it to be as a movie.
Yeah, I agree. There's a guy on YouTube. He's doing a fan edit of the Obi-Wan show, and he's adding in new effects, music tracks. Like he's going full on with his fan edit, and I'm intrigued.
Yeah. And my mom showed up in the chat. Uh, let me see if I can pull it up. Hold on. Nope. Normally, like if you're in StreamYard, you just click. I don't know if it's showing up in front or anything, but yeah, she said that
Yeah.
sounds like a cool haircut. Can you see the chat too?
Yeah, not on the I can see the live chat, but it's not coming up on the stream itself. I've never used Restream before, so I don't know how it works.
Yeah, because I can see it on Restream and I can also see it on the live chat. But yeah. Also, so the Doomslayer says, I think season 2 would be cool if it followed the time he spent with Luke. Yeah, I would say that. Like, but isn't Obi-Wan Kenobi supposed to be watching over Luke from a distance? Because it seems like in the first season, like Aunt Peru and Uncle Owen, like didn't want Obi-Wan Kenobi around Luke Skywalker. Although Luke Skywalker did get to meet Obi-Wan at the very end of the season, but at the same time, Aunt Peru and Uncle Owen didn't want Obi-Wan Kenobi around Luke.
Yeah, I think they should probably keep Obi-Wan and Luke like apart, not have them meet too often, maybe just once, like in season 2 if they do it, because got to keep it in line with how Luke reacts to Obi-Wan in episode 4.
Yeah. So, but basically, I think Luke should be watching. Luke should be watched from a distance by Obi-Wan Kenobi, but
Yeah.
until like it's ready, like Obi-Wan Kenobi show really did explain like because you know how Luke mentions old Ben Kenobi,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, in episode
we
4,
see
yeah.
we see Luke Skywalker meeting Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Kenobi series. That kind of explains the familiar Ben Kenobi with Luke Skywalker in A New Hope. How like Luke Skywalker was familiar with Kenobi.
Yeah, it's a good connection. I
Yeah.
just wish the show was a bit better than what we got.
What I really liked is like in that scene in Revenge of the Sith where General Grievous was so arrogant, and then there's a battle between Obi-Wan Kenobi and General Grievous. That was a pretty great scene. I liked the General Grievous and Obi-Wan Kenobi and how like Obi-Wan was able to defeat General Grievous and says, so uncivilized.
Yeah, I like that because then it's back to what Obi-Wan said in episode 4 about lightsabers are more civilized weapons.
Yeah. So basically, basically, so the lie basically, shoot, I keep losing my train of thought.
Nah, you're all good, man.
It's like 10:53 where I'm at p.m. at night.
Oh man, that's late.
Yeah, when I get tired, I end up losing my train of thought. But that's just me tired. But basically, what was this guy saying? He says I could just do what else they could do for season 2. What else could they do for what else could they do for season 2? Well, we see Qui-Gon Jinn's Force Ghost appear at the very end of the first season, and we could see like Obi-Wan learning from his former master Qui-Gon Jinn as a Force ghost how to become one with the Force, because Qui-Gon Jinn was the first to ever become a Force ghost. He was the first Jedi to do that, and it explains that scene in Revenge of the Sith where Yoda has communicated with with Obi-Wan's old master Qui-Gon Jinn. So, and Obi-Wan was trying to reach out to Qui-Gon. So I think that in season 2, it can be more focused on Obi-Wan Kenobi, like, receiving training from Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, I could definitely see that, and Yoda even tells Obi-Wan in
And
episode
it'll
3 as well.
explain like how Obi-Wan Kenobi becomes a Force ghost after
Yeah, exactly.
after he becomes one in the Force, like how he learned the knowledge of becoming a Force ghost, and it'll explain everything and how it came to be. Like my favorite in the original trilogy is the fact that, like, in episode 4, where Obi-Wan Kenobi speaks through the cosmic force, like, he doesn't appear as a Force ghost, but as Luke Skywalker was about to destroy the Death Star, and Obi-Wan Kenobi says, "Use the Force, Luke. Let go." I really liked that moment in A New Hope. That was like one of the best moments, and then eventually they destroy the Death Star, but I really like how Obi-Wan Kenobi stepped in through the cosmic force and gave Luke some guidance.
Yeah, that is a really good scene. And we can, like, if they do that with season 2, we can they can show us how he learns to do that.
Yeah. Like, I like the fact that I also used to, like, when I was a kid, I used to have like Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber, and I used to like pretend I was a Jedi with my friends, and they have lightsaber battles, and I'd be like Obi-Wan Kenobi, because Obi-Wan Kenobi was who I wanted to be when I was like doing like Star Wars lightsaber battles with my friends, and just that was back during my elementary school days when I still lived in Michigan. I remember those moments. Those were pretty good.
I feel like kids these days, they're really missing out when it comes to toy lightsabers, because I feel like they were better when we were growing up.
Yeah, they were. I also loved like climbing trees as well on when I was a kid, and I used to climb up to the top of a 50-foot tree before.
Oh,
It's
man.
kind of like a 50-foot tree. I'm saying that like out of overestimates, not literally 50 foot, but it was like as tall as the apartment building, the 3-story apartment building. But I climbed all the way to the top of that tree, and I would just scare like my. There was one time my grandma came over to watch me and my sisters, and there was that time where me and my sisters, like, where she came to watch me and my sisters, and me and my sisters were going to be watched, but then I saw my grandma, and I said, "Hey, grandma," and then she looked around and she's like, "Where is she?" And then she saw I was up in the tree. It's like I kind of scared her a little bit, because I was like way up there, and it was like she thought I was gonna fall or something.
Oh, you gave her a fright. Yeah.
But yeah, climbing trees kind of reminds me of like being in the trees of like of Endor in Return of the Jedi.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was a really good tree climber at back in the day. Like, I was a kid in the 2000s, and the 2000s were really like my favorite decade of all. Okay, we had Star Wars
I
movies,
agree.
and
Yeah.
I was watching those and then just being outside and like using my imagination, and yeah, those are the good days.
You don't really see kids, doing that anymore, like riding bikes through the street or, going to the park.
Yeah,
Like it's completely different now to what it was when we were growing up.
yeah. Like I used to be outside all the time when I was like a kid, and
Yeah.
then I would like when like all we had was like a VHS or a DVD player when I was a kid. So one time the DVD player broke, and then we had like nothing but VHS. So I was watching like nothing but VHS movies, but I was watching the original trilogy and then episode one at the time because all I had was episode one on VHS. Until later, several years later, when I ordered the other two tapes, like Attack of the Clones, and I finally found Revenge of the Sith on VHS because it irritated me to see the saga not complete on VHS. So I decided to get it when I had the opportunity because because when it doesn't look complete, it gets under my skin.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Like when I'm collecting something, I want to have the complete set. It just feels wrong if it's not complete.
Yeah, so that's why I got it off eBay, and that was just a few years ago. I bought Revenge of the Sith on VHS. I saw, oh, I gotta buy this, so I bought this off eBay. And then I also have like the every release of the original trilogy. I have like the 1997, and I have both copies. I have the widescreen and the full screen of the 1997 special edition, so I can either watch widescreen or full screen. And then I also
Yeah,
have
I remember you.
the last original version with the Lucas and Leonard Maltin interview
Mm.
at the very beginning. And then I also have a couple copies of like the very first original releases, the first releases on VHS.
It's a pretty good collection there.
Yeah. And then I also got the Roman numerals original trilogy that was released in 2000, where it had episode 4, 5, and 6, and it was the same as the 1997 special edition where George Lucas added those scenes. And what really interested me the most when George Lucas was making changes to Return of the Jedi was the ending. Like the ending was like it was completely different music than what was originally. And then also like they replaced Sebastian with I think his name was Sebastian. I can't quite recall.
Yeah, I'm
Was
pretty
it
sure it's Sebastian. Yeah.
Sebastian? Like they replaced him with Hayden Christensen in the 2004 DVD
Mm.
release. But the thing is, the 2004 DVD release was the first exposure I had to the original trilogy. I watched the 2004 DVD release, and I didn't know anything about the changes at the time when I was a kid. I didn't know anything about that. But then when I watched the VHS release, I noticed there was a difference. And that's what made me obsessed.
Yeah, the 2004 DVDs were my first time watching the AT. So yeah, it was definitely weird. It felt weird when I would see like videos on YouTube comparing like the 2004 to 1997 and everything else.
Yeah. Like I remember, hold on, this one says, I always pretended to be pretended to be Kit Firsto in the Clone
Oh,
Wars.
Kit Fisto.
Oh, Kit Fisto. I don't have the words are a little bit small. So, in the Clone Wars episode where he made the big water bubble that destroyed the ship. Oh, that was pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah,
scene.
it's the micro series. Yeah.
Yeah. There's two different versions. There's two different Clone Wars. There's one from the 2003 that was really good. I used to watch that a while back, and then there was also the recent animated one from 2008. And I remember watching the Clone Wars movie for the first time, where they rescued Rada the Hutt, Anakin and Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And then Rada the Hutt was again in The Mandalorian and Grogu.
That's right. Yeah.
As a full-grown adult, but then Rada the Hutt doesn't want to be like his father, Jabba the Hutt.
Okay. So, are they meant to bring Rodder in to take his father's place?
Yeah. So, yeah, the Doom Slayer said the movie is mid.
Oh, is he talking about the Mandalorian and Grogu or the 2008 film with the CW?
I think it's the 2008 Clone Wars movie. I think it's the 2008.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Also, yeah, like I mentioned to you on Discord that I appreciate like the feedback, like the video that you reacted to like a while back on your live stream. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
appreciate the feedback
Yeah.
of like not repeating myself. And I've been working hard at not repeating myself on my channel because that's something that I struggle with constantly. But I still work on it the best way I can. And now that I know how to edit, I can always like edit the parts out where I end up repeating myself.
Yeah, it's just like I don't have an issue with it personally. It's just there's going to be,
Yeah.
some assholes who will make fun of you for it.
And I already have them. Like I mentioned earlier about the Gatekeepers Alliance, they act like they're the grammar police. Like like you accidentally misspell one word, or your grammar's a little bit off as you're typing. They'll start saying, "Oh, your grammar sucks," and like you have to write a like college essay.
I find when people usually do that, it's because they've got nothing else to say.
Yeah, and I explained this like on Twitter, like it's not like writing a college essay for a college homework assignment. It's not like I'm writing an essay. Like
it's social media. Like no one really cares. Like
yeah, and 90% of people who do like texting, especially on their phone, have bad grammar. Does that make them dumb too? No, it doesn't. It doesn't necessarily mean you're dumb because you have bad grammar. It just means that it's just normal. Like not I get texts all the time that are not in like proper grammar. Like people use the term you as like not just YOU, just the letter U.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Like people don't always have proper grammar when they're texting. So but at the end of the day, like who cares? Like
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I don't care if they have bad grammar or not. I still understand what they're saying.
Back, that stream you saw, it was Backseater. He paid me, I think, like $5, and he was expecting me to rip you apart.
Yeah. Well, Backseater.
I just think that was pretty funny. Like he paid, but I didn't do it.
Yeah, it's Backseater. I also don't like the fact that Backseater, he made a video on the Ray side a while back and just basically made it kind of like he put it in a way that's kind of like a sexual harassment way, which is totally wrong. And I just don't really I don't really like how Backseater did that. And to me, that's just what he did was just purely wrong and messed up.
Yeah, that's not surprising. Like given that he lost his original Twitter account for that tweet he made about the child actor that played as Princess Leia in the Obi-Wan show.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that doesn't surprise me. He did that video.
Well, and Brandon went on Twitter to make himself look like a creep, and Lucky Kennedy made a video making him aware making everybody aware of what Brandon was doing, because Brandon said, because Brandon was arguing with Santa Gerald Robotnik, I think that's his name, and SK, but like he was arguing with him and saying, he said something, "Are you against women being women?" And then
Oh, this,
and
yeah,
then he
yeah,
said, and then Santa Gerald Robotnik said, "She's a little girl," and then he said, "And your point." And I'm like,
yeah. That's just, oh my god.
that's messed up. Who in their right mind would say that?
Yeah, I mean, that's, yeah, I remember. It's just he,
To
yeah,
me,
and then
that's
he.
go
Oh, sorry,
on.
go on. Oh no, you go. It's all good. I'm just lost for words when when I think about that.
Yeah, it's just it's no one in their right mind would say that. And a
Yeah,
regular person, if they hear that, then they'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and move on. Like Lucky Kennedy, Lucky Kennedy could have given OG Star Wars the benefit of the doubt if she acknowledged that. She said, "Oh, my source was wrong. I'll make a statement on it and move on." Like literally, that's all she needed to do. But instead, she had a big fit on Twitter about it, and then constantly going after Lucky Kennedy for it, when Lucky Kennedy brought to light that she lied off, that she constantly lied her tail off.
yeah. She did not handle that situation very well at all. Just
It's
doesn't
not
look good at all.
it's not very like it's not very adult of her to the way she handled the situation. That was kind of a bit childish to me. Like kind of like how Brandon like calls people Ray Lover for as a result of losing an argument. As a
Yeah,
result of losing an argument, he calls people a fake fan and a Ray Lover, as if that's going to help, as if that's going to help his case after losing an argument. And to me, that's kind of childish. It's childish to be calling people's names like that.
yeah. It's just when you resort to name calling like that, it just shows that you don't really have anything worth saying.
No. And that's exactly the point. Like, I think Emperor John Kill 3D Gaming went and made a couple of videos on Brandon and Forge. Like, he said, yeah, like he was basically like giving Brandon simple questions on Star Wars, and Brandon kept flipping the question and saying stuff like he could beat him in a lightsaber duel and all of that, uh, and then he made a video about it, and then he says, "Don't hurt yourself, fake fan." But Brandon, that's pretty much Brandon's result of being exposed as a fake, as a fan that doesn't know anything about Star Wars, as being fake, is that he calls them the fake fan.
Yeah, it's just it doesn't. It doesn't make him look good at all. I don't know if he thinks he's trolling, but it's not good. It's not working the way he thinks it does.
No, it's not. And in fact, he reacted to my video on the Mandalorian and Grogu, because I said the Mandalorian, of course, it's a failure. I acknowledge it's a failure. I'm not in denial on
Yeah.
it being and saying that it's a success. It's not a success. It's a failure. But I said it wasn't considered a flop yet because the movie was still in theaters. And I made the I made the video explaining that, and he reacted to that like, let me pull it up real quick. But he like basically, for example, right down. I think it was down here.
Oh man, it's been a while since I've seen this channel. Oh man.
That's right. I think it's this one. Not that one. Oh, not that one. Oh, it'll take me a minute. It's somewhere around here.
Knows his Star Wars not very well because he can't even keep his own crap straight.
Not that one. That one's. Right down.
Have you seen that disagreement day stream where Brandon went on to debate SK?
Oh yeah, you showed me that.
Yeah, that one was just, oh man. Like, I'm not surprised he never really talked about it.
Oh, that was before then. On. It was the.
That's fake Halo.
Oh, this is
all the
this
bad
is the
ones.
one right here. So he
Yeah,
basically
there you are.
he reacted to my video right here, and this is how he is. And people are calling me like a robot and stuff, but so right here.
Mandalorian and Grogu isn't a flop.
Oh, dude, yes.
I've been wanting to cover this. I've been wanting to kick Watson the nuts again. Wait, does he have nuts? Does he have balls?
Yeah,
No,
copium,
he
my
doesn't.
favorite.
He doesn't.
Why is he
because he's a
talking about your
giant
nuts?
Pussy.
Let's see.
I just laughed when
By
he
the
was
way, the
talking
one showing
about
that I found for
because he has
Mandalorian
no
and
idea what
Grogu
he's talking
tomorrow,
about.
there are 4 seats sold. There's one screening at 9:45 p.m.
And
Yeah,
4
crazy.
seatings.
That's a
that-
wild time.
In
Damn.
that same theater, there's the Michael Jackson biopic is still playing, and it has more seats sold.
Well, I heard that's like a decent movie.
Mm-hmm. No, it came
Yeah,
out
that was
before
actually at
Mando
the
and
local,
Grogu is why I mentioned that.
theater back in the small town.
Toy Story 5 is going to make more money, and that movie's not great either.
I don't think Brandon
Yeah,
ever
that's
really
pretty
watches
much
the
about
things
I'm
he
going to
talks
see
about.
The
'Cause
Furious tomorrow because I heard
how
that's
does
a
he
really
know
cool
if
kung
Toy
fu
Story
movie.
5 was going to be bad
Mhm.
Taken meets the
if he
Raid.
hasn't watched it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
What is up, Star Wars fans? This is Darth Watson. In this video, we are.
Oh dear God, this guy
Darth
does
Watts.
look. He does look like he needs an AI to help him with literally everything in his life. Dear God.
Why?
So basically, he says, I do look like I need an AI to help me with everything in my life.
Like, what does that even mean? Like,
I
what is
don't
he
even know
talking
why.
about? What's he talking about? Like, you're not doing anything incorrectly. I don't know. I don't know what.
Yeah,
It's so bad.
I'm like, that's what he's got to say, that I need an AI to help me with everything. So apparently, I'm someone that cannot be self-dependent, that I need an AI to. I supposedly need an AI to help me with everything. Yeah, okay. But yeah, he says that
It's just ridiculous.
it's funny because Brandon has no clue of what he's talking about. Like
Why didn't I use an AI for my voice?
Jerson FC, welcome to the stream.
we're going to be talking about The Mandalorian and Grogu and its box office numbers, and everybody seems
A movie that failed to break even.
I mean,
How
Solo
sick.
did better than this.
If he'd
Yeah,
let the
just
video
nothing.
play,
Yeah, this
Like-
is the
To be all worried about, oh, this movie is flopping. This movie is
Mhm.
gonna be a complete failure for Lucasfilm.
It was.
When the movie is not even out of theaters yet.
Oh
And-
yeah, it's gonna make a ton of
It's
movie. It's gonna make a ton of money.
everybody knows that a movie like the main
What?
thing
Huh?
is the opening weekend. The opening weekend is always like the most important.
Yeah, like you can have great legs and make a lot of money, but you also usually have a big opening if you're gonna.
I mean, the opening weekend was what is very important, but what really matters is like the entire time the movie's in theaters and how much it makes in theaters. And that's the point I was getting across. Like I said, don't consider it a flop yet. I didn't say the film was not going to flop. I just said don't consider it a flop yet. And
Yeah,
that's pretty much all I said.
Yeah, Brandon tends to pause the videos constantly before the point is actually made, and he just jumps the gun. He
Yeah.
does that quite a lot.
And then he called me a giant pussy as well. I remember that.
I mean, it's funny because some of the things he's told me, in private messages, that just sounds like projection to me. When we used to
Yeah.
talk, so he really shouldn't be calling people pussies.
Yeah, he's called me all sorts of names. And then also I get called and this is something that I used on Scran a while back. I said Scran. Since I said Scran had the intelligence of the brain lollipop, because I just came up, it was off the top of my head, and everybody in the Gatekeepers Alliance was using brain lollipop as a term on me, calling me the brain lollipop. And then like Mike C, the scout, said, "You killed the brain lollipop," Brandon responded. And then but then look at here. Like, for example, this guy was kind of defending me. He's like, I don't think this Watt person was wrong. He didn't spell my name correctly, but I don't think this Watt person was wrong. George Lucas did not consider the expanded universe canon when creating his stories, whether it's Splinter of the Mind's Eye or anything beyond. It was his vision that mattered.
Oh, sorry, my bad. It disconnected me for a bit.
Oh, it was his vision that mattered. Estimated, and this is what Brandon said. Brandon says, "No, Watts is wrong because again, George Lucas referenced the EU in his movies and forbid the EU from doing certain things like exploiting the Clone Wars and in the 90s and explaining anything about Yoda." He gets so triggered. And then also he says, and then Brandon says, his actions speak louder than words. And then he also says, not really. I am the one who is correct, not Watts. Sorry, the facts are the facts. And then I responded down here. And then OG Star Wars did hop in. I don't know where she's at in here, but I think she's down here. But she did hop in and said that I think it was a what? Oh yeah, she did said he did consider the EU a part of his saga and movies. Well, not really. Like it was official canon under Lucasfilm licensing, but it wasn't like a part of his saga in a way.
Yeah, like I think it's obvious to anyone. Like he cared about the EU and he would take from it,
Yeah.
but to say it was part of his canon is just incorrect.
And they want to say that I'm discrediting the EU, and I'm like, since when did I ever say anything about the EU being bad? All I
No,
said is that it wasn't like considered George's continuity.
yeah,
So why
like,
does it have to be like George Lucas this, George Lucas that when it comes to the EU? To me,
I
that
have
doesn't
I have no
really
idea
make
why.
sense. But yeah, it's just a bunch of nonsense. Like I went on a debate with Scran like a while back. Darth Momo did too. I remember
Yeah,
Darth.
yeah.
Did you have a chance to watch Darth Momo's debate?
Oh no, I didn't get around to it.
But yeah, Darth Momo and I went on a debate with Scran, but I went on a debate with him, but he tagged me into the post. I'm like, sure, I'll debate you, but we had a civil debate at first. We had a civil debate, and then Brandon later was bragging about how I got my ass kicked by Scran.
No, I saw your debate. It was nothing of the sort. It was a pretty good debate for you.
And it seemed like for example, Scran was just like didn't really like say much other than comprehend what I said.
I mean,
Like,
I was expecting him to just dog on you the whole time, to be honest.
and he wasn't really like dogging on me. Like Brandon, if I ever did a debate with him, like he would just it's likely he would just yell at me and call me an idiot. Like he does in every single one of his debates. He's done that quite a few times in his past debates with people. And the thing is, Lucky Kennedy offered to debate Brandon, but then Brandon kind of chickened out at the last minute. Like he acts all tough and all, but then when he gets called to a debate, he runs away. Like I offered to debate Brandon, but then Brandon said, I'm not debating Watts because he got his ass kicked by Scran.
Well, how is that a reason not to debate you? That just seems like a cop out. Like
It
it's just an
is.
excuse.
Like there's no excuse. Like he had every opportunity, but because even if he did debate me, I would have made him look like a total fool. Because
Yeah, I mean,
I knew what I was talking about. Like I even debated
yeah.
him in like the comment section, and then eventually he had nothing to say when I sent the last reply. Like he ran out of words to say. I replied back to him until he ran out of words to say.
Yeah, that happens a lot between him and Kennedy.
Like I went on the debate back over here. See if it's still up. I know he took down the video where I called him the brain lollipop, where I said he had the brain lollipop because I was like
Oh,
out of
really?
my mind. I was like, he was like I was talking to him about like how George Lucas never considered canon, but then I was like sure, maybe I shouldn't have said like brain lollipop. I should have been a little bit nicer on my part, but at the same time, at the same time, like he at the same time he started using it as like merch and stuff. But yeah, this is the Darth Watts debate right here that he did with
The
me.
whole like
I never said
how
I'm
they're
against
using
you.
the
You
brain
are so
lollipop
stupid. Yes,
cringe, just the way they're
I know.
doing it.
Yeah. Well, the way they're doing it, the way they're doing it is they're using it as merch.
It's just cringe. That's all it is.
freaking low life. A freaking low life. The EU was never canon. It's still spelled canon wrong. Approval doesn't mean acceptance. Yes, it does. You are so dumb. You are nothing but stupid with the brain lollipop.
I feel like he's putting it on a bit.
I mean, does that seem a little bit staged to you?
Yeah. It's not that funny. Like
The brain
Like-
lollipop. Oh my gosh.
I laughed because he laughed, but
Yeah.
not because I thought it
The
was
thing
funny.
is, and the thing that's disheartening to me is like Filoni is the one that is the only person in the history of Star Wars to not want
This
to
is like
contribute to
OG
the overall
Star
story. He
Wars
wanted
constantly
to
going
make his
in
own
there.
mark on things, and that's something you see a
Yeah.
lot
So
in
he's
franchises
got her as a
today. It's like
moderator.
people want to
She
put their own
recently
twist and
was
subversion on things
talking
instead
about.
of contributing to it, right?
Mhm.
That's how I feel about Dave Filoni. And the thing is, like, he's still doing it to this day. And like you said yourself, you're not entirely happy with everything that's coming out, right?
Well, what was I not so happy about the most was the way the sequel trilogy came out. The Rise of Skywalker is what really threw me off, because I felt like, and it wasn't the issue of Palpatine coming back, it was more of the issue is that the film didn't really feel like a conclusion. It was just a 2-hour film put together, and as I watched the film, the production seemed a bit rushed. And on top of that, the way they did things with the Rise of Skywalker, the story, the plot, it really didn't feel like a conclusion to the Skywalker saga to me. Like, there wasn't enough scenes in the film that would tie everything together, and some of the things like didn't make sense. Although I will say this though, when I predicted that Ben Solo would turn back to the light in episode 9, because I was predicting that since The Force Awakens came out. And the thing is, I predicted that. So I knew that Ben Solo would turn back to the light in episode 9. I had the strange feeling that that was going to happen. Mainly, part of it was because he was related to the Skywalkers. Unlike, Star Wars EU,
Yeah.
where Jason Solo didn't get a redemption. That's one part I didn't like about the EU. Like, not saying that it's bad, but I feel like the flaw was like there could have been like some sort of redemption with Jason Solo, is what I felt like. But with Ben Solo, like, I had a feeling that he was going to get a redemption in episode 9. Like, some people said it was going to happen in episode 8, and I'm like, no, I think it's going to happen in episode 9. And here's why. And I explained why and everything and so on. But right here, I did the debate with Scran, and Scran looked like he was just, like talking. He looked like he was just like, just comprehending what I'm saying, just not getting all like, kind of like he didn't really like say all that. They're just, I don't know the best way to describe it. Like, what was your take on it after watching it? What did he seem like he was doing?
Well, it just seemed like he was just listening, but he didn't agree with what you were saying. And I
Yeah.
don't think he was really doing the stream to come to some sort of understanding of your side at all, and what you were saying. I think maybe it was just for spectacle, maybe just to appear, like, to make content for everyone else, like in that group. I don't know, but yeah, it just seemed like to me he was just nodding along, like he wasn't really interested in understanding what you were trying to say.
Yeah. Also, I saw some new chat. So the Doomslayer said the Han Solo movie was not bad. I would have to agree. It's not a bad movie in a way, although it didn't do well in the box office, but that doesn't necessarily mean the movie or the story is bad. Like, I enjoyed the story. Like, it shows how Han Solo gets the Millennium Falcon and how Lando lost the Millennium Falcon to Han Solo fair and square, which explains the mention in The Empire Strikes Back on Bespin in Cloud City, where Han Solo reminded Lando, saying, "Hey, you lost her to me fair and square."
Yeah, I didn't think it was a terrible movie, but I'm not surprised that it didn't do very well.
Yeah. By the way, I think your channel has like a cool name because the Scruffy Looking Nerfherder, it kind of reminds me, it takes me back to like episode 5 where Han Solo and
Yeah.
and Leia were having an argument, and then Leia was like, "Why, you half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder?"
Yeah. Yeah, well, I put that in my intro and outros now. I'm going full on with it.
Yeah, I'm like, that's a really good name. I really like that name. That really fits like a Star Wars channel, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, like this is how I came up with my name as a YouTube name because I would have named my channel Jedi Master Watts. I could have and would have done that, but at the same time, I don't want to leave it long. I wanted to leave my channel short and simple.
Mm.
Like, not saying that I'm on the dark side, but like the reason why I came up with Darth Watts because Watts is my last name and Darth is what I put in front of it. So I came up with Darth Watts because of my last name, and I wanted to keep it short and simple rather than Jedi Master Watts because that'd be too long of a that I just wanted to keep my channel short and simple. So that's why I came up with Darth Watts.
Well, I think you came up with a good name. I think Darth Watts, like, it works.
Yeah, because Watts is my last name. So that's why I came up with it. And before then, a while back, like it used to just be my first and last name, like David Watts. But then I changed it to Darth Watts because it was a Star Wars channel, and that was back when I had my old channel before I started this channel in 2018. But my old channel doesn't exist anymore. I have a couple other channels, but I don't really post anything on there. I have like maybe 2 or 3 videos, but this is the main channel that I'm really focused on because it suits me and I like talking about Star Wars. But as I was saying, like here's the one he did with here's a piece of the one where he did with let me pull it up. He did something with Darth Momo right here. Right.
That scene when he's holding common ground here. So
Disconnect again.
Yeah,
it was
I don't
going alright
necessarily
for a
have
bit,
anything
but
in particular
yeah,
that
it's stuffing up now.
Yeah, like Darth Momo came on and debated Scran, and again, Scran was pretty much the same as he was with me. But their talking points, like Scran got owned by Darth Momo.
I haven't seen this one, so I completely forgot he was gonna debate Momo.
But yeah, he went in and did the debate. He uses a restream too. Like I was gonna use StreamYard for my streaming, but then I saw Restream. I'm like, I should try Restream. But Restream was kind of new. Also, guess who showed up? Justin Avarillo.
Ah, cool. Hey, Justin.
Said he made it. Says hello, fans. He said Scran is a scam.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I wonder if Justin's used that on screen.
I don't know if he has or not, but I do know like he does like the hashtag triggered, hashtag big mad, hashtag like the Knights of Melvin hashtag method. And I found out like before then I didn't even know what that's all about. And before I knew all that, like I didn't know he was using that, but he was using the hashtag the Knights of Melvin hashtag method, like going against the Gatekeepers Alliance.
Yeah, because they use it a lot.
Yeah, like Brandon, like he put a hashtag big mad when I said he was a coward for not debating me, and he put hashtag big mad.
Well,
same. same time, like he would have yelled at me and called me an idiot if he were to debate me.
Yeah, I mean that's what he did with SK, and he ended up like quitting the debate.
Yeah. So that's pretty much count that, like, they call me OG Star Wars called me a coward for blocking her, but but according to them it's totally not cowardly behavior to uh to run from a debate.
Yeah,
So
it's a weird double standard. Like Brandon blocks people all the time.
yeah.
Like I've seen Kennedy has shown me when Brandon blocks him.
And OG Star Wars blocked Darth Momo, I believe. But then she gets mad when people like me do it.
Yeah, it's the good old double standards.
And what's funny is that OG accuses me of using AI for comprehending arguments.
What?
And I'm like, I use Grammarly to help with like grammar and spelling
Yeah.
corrections, but it's not the same as like having AI to write everything for me. But then someone said, "Oh, they put it through Scran's server and it came out as 90% AI."
Yeah, because it totally wasn't just doctored and made up for the server.
Yeah. Yeah, but literally that thing is not always accurate and you can't always trust that thing. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't rely on AI for everything. Like
It's
AI
probably
is good
because
for
you put it through Grammarly. That's why it came up
yeah.
as AI.
Yeah, because I put it through Grammarly and I explained it to him, and then he says, it's all AI, and then AI won't help you, and blah 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 blah." Like OG Star Wars would just constantly go on. Like she came on my channel ever since because Iron Inquisitor came on my channel and said, "This is not a win," and then basically showed the link to his video of Jennifer Heddle saying that the EU was all canon, and I'm like, yeah, canon under Lucasfilm licensing. She didn't say George's canon. And just a few seconds later, and this is how I met OG Star Wars. Like OG Star Wars, a few seconds later, just came in, and that was mega suspicious in a way because in a suspicious this was mega suspicious because in a way, like in the comments a few seconds later, somebody had to, either Iron Inquisitor or Star Wars Forge had to have ran to OG Star Wars saying, "Can you come deal with this for me?" And then yeah, like Iron Inquisitor ran to OG Star Wars to come deal with me. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, they
this
would
is
have
pathetic.
definitely have like he would have screenshotted your
Yeah.
comment chain, and he would have put it in the server.
Yeah. And then OG Star Wars came in and started spamming stuff. And then I was like, me and her had the argument, but then she wasn't being very civil and she was just being very disrespectful towards me and basically saying that I have no argument and something like that, calling me vacuous. So I was like, you know what? That's it. I've had enough of you. I'm going to block you. So I ended up blocking OG Star Wars because of that. Because I'm like, I had
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah, and you have every right to.
Yeah, I'm like, she does not get to come in my channel and start spamming stuff and disrespecting me. Because the thing is, I have a certain level of tolerance. Like I can tolerate a civil debate, but if people are going to come into my comments and be totally rude and try to harass me for stuff that I'm saying, instead of like if you disagree with me, then come into my comments respectfully. Don't come into my comments being disrespectful because more than likely you're going to get blocked if you come into my comments being disrespectful. Because I'm not going to tolerate it.
Yeah, it's like you and thousands of other people would do the same thing. Like, yeah, you get someone behaving like that, they're gonna get blocked.
Well, and she gets genuinely angry that Lucky Kennedy, in fact, I'll pull up the video, but gets Lucky Kennedy triggers OG Star Wars the most for some reason. Like, like she trigger OG Star Wars gets triggered by Lucky Kennedy the most. Let me pull it up real quick.
Yeah, I've seen some of her posts.
Like this one right here.
I just want to read this tweet real quick because, oh my gosh, how terminally online do you have to be, like, to get genuinely angry that someone blocked you after, like, you attacked said person twice completely unprompted, and be angry that they blocked you? Like, what the fuck? Okay, I'm gonna read this tweet. OG Star Wars, aka the fraud that she is. This dolt blocked me. Coward! I leave him to be, shout in his echo chamber, watching him continually stalking and posting about me. Most of what I got was from other people, so that's not entirely accurate. I just made stuff more public. This is just a repeat post he posted on other platforms like Blue Sky, Reddit, and YouTube. Clearly she doesn't know what promotion is. From what is shared to me. Oh, so you didn't, like, look at this yourself? You're just going off other people's word? About what I expect, to be honest. This was long clarified by me. It wasn't. To him, it was not. On YouTube, about a month ago, you attacked me. He ignores because he is a grifter.
What?
That is fucking rich. That is so fucking rich coming from you. Oh my god. The funniest thing about this is, I would have given her the benefit of the doubt if she had said, "Oh, my bad. My source was wrong. I'll make a statement on that and move on." Literally, that's all she needed to do. Instead, she had 3 meltdowns, not counting this one. And yeah, and now this one where she calls me the grifter after having 3 meltdowns after I, brought to light, she lied her ass off. Self-projection much? Then again, I question this woman's reading capability by just going off her tweets. How do you confuse Jedi with Sith? Like, how brain dead do you have to be? OG Star Wars' Twitter is something to behold because she will get into fights with literally anyone.
And I see all of her fights on Twitter. I see all of that. But yeah.
Yeah, like Kennedy showed me a few.
Yeah. Lucky Kennedy. Lucky Kennedy is it pretty much showed that OG Star Wars was a liar, and she had a meltdown over it. There's no reason to be all upset over a correction. Like, what if, like, for example, if only she had, like, just acknowledged that her source was wrong and made a statement on it and moved on, Lucky Kennedy would have given her the benefit of the doubt. But instead, she just wanted to melt down over it because she got called out. And then what's crazy is that she said she wanted to sue Lucky Kennedy. And I'm like,
yeah, that was
like,
man.
How do you sue somebody for exposing somebody as a fraud? That's not defamation. In order to file a legal case, like, I know how the legal system works, at least in my country, you can't legally file for defamation unless it really affects somebody. Like, it would have to affect, like, them not being able to get a job, or it would have to be a real defamation. This is not an actual defamation. So a judge is going to take one look at the case and throw it out.
Yeah, it just the fact she said that just it already says a lot that she said that
To me, it just
because
sounded like she definitely doesn't have a clue of what she's talking about.
yeah, is she trying to cancel him or something? It's
Yeah,
weird.
like she wants to cancel. She wants to cancel him because uh because of uh because of all that. So she wanted to. Hold on, I'm just looking at something real quick.
It's all good.
But yeah, but the way OG Star Wars it's just to me she thinks she knows what she's talking about, but she doesn't. And all she's doing is like digging herself into a deeper hole every time. Like Lucky Kennedy sent me an image earlier of her recent post where it seems like she doesn't know anything about the original theatrical cut still existing, and she says it doesn't exist anymore. But Lucky Kennedy says, "Are you forgetting the 2006 DVD release?
Yeah.
Or you can specially order the despecialized edition too to get the original theatrical cut of the original trilogy. There's ways to get it. I know this as a Star Wars home video collector,
Hmm.
but
Yeah, it's just that's wild that she didn't even know
yeah,
that.
it's it's wild. It's wild that she would just be like that. So hold on just a sec. It's gotta switch. But yeah, I pretty much come to the conclusion that these people have no self awareness. They make fun. They poke fun of anybody. They act like a cult in the Star Wars fandom. The way they behave is kind of cultish behavior. Like not particularly like I call the Gatekeepers Alliance a cult because it's because of the way they act.
Yeah, a lot of the things they've done is why I distance myself from them all. It's just yeah, it's not good stuff.
Well, they didn't actually watch Darth Momo's video either when he was doing the 6 hour video. I can tell
Nah,
they
none
did
of them. No, none of them
because
did.
if they did, they wouldn't be commenting those things. That's how I know. They say, "Oh, nice try," but they didn't watch the whole video.
Yeah, I mean, they watched my video. Well, they said they did, but if they did watch it, they would have had issues with me because I was agreeing with what Momo was saying. I didn't agree with how he was presenting George's like care about like his not care, I guess his attitude towards the EU.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. So I was yeah, it's funny because you know, like I said, had they watched it, they would have thrown me out a lot earlier.
I saw the video where you guys were just chatting, where you and Lucky Kennedy were talking to Momo.
Oh yeah.
So was that like the day where you left the Gatekeepers Alliance? Or like how did all that happen?
Oh, so I think I think it was like a week before I ended up leaving this I think it was Scran and Brandon's server because I remember seeing their reactions to the stream in Scran's server. And they weren't happy about it, but Yeah, once Kennedy started posting the screenshots, that's when I left because I was pretty much just done.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of like, not a lot of good things was said in that server, and I didn't agree with a lot of the things they said.
Yeah. So and it's a good thing you left the group because, yeah, these people, and that's what I really liked. That's what I really liked about you is that you left the group. You realized you thought you were getting into like a good YouTube community at first, but then you got in and then you basically realized that these aren't the type of people you wanted to be associated with. Oh, and the thing is, I'm kind of like that. That's kind of what I would do too. Like if I realize I'm in the wrong group of people, I would just leave as well. And if I'm going to be told I'm a fake fan because I don't agree with what they're saying, then I don't want to be a part of their group.
Yeah, like no one's a fake fan. Like it's just I even when I was in that group, I never really agreed with that because it's all Star Wars. It's just you like Disney Star Wars. This person doesn't like Disney Star Wars. Like at the end of the day, Disney owns Star Wars right now, and just because you call some people fake fans, it's not going to change that.
Yeah, and that's what I really don't like about these people. They call them fake fans, and honestly, like how Knights of Melvin has been going after like Star Wars Explained
Yeah,
and doing the videos like Star Wars Explained. I've been watching his channel for like several years, and he did the video on the complete like Legends timeline, the complete canon timeline. And he seems like he's read every single book that has came out with Star Wars. Like he knows like literally a lot with the EU and canon, like both continuities.
yeah.
And he made videos on that, but then Knights of Melvin makes a whole playlist on him, and I can see like speaking of defamation case, you know how OG likes to sue Lucky Kennedy, but OG doesn't really have a case. But Star Wars Explained, like Alex and Molly Damon, if it gets bad enough, they could probably sue Knights of Melvin for
Probably, yeah.
stuff like that.
See, like for me, like being in that group long enough, like to me, it just, and I think for a lot of the people who don't like Disney Star Wars, I think a lot of it is political because,
Yeah,
a lot of the politics that Disney uses in Star Wars is very left leaning, especially
yeah,
with Andor, like how I've seen people where they make the comparison to January 6th and stuff for Andor, and yeah, to me it just seems like it's all political.
and I don't really like what's happening in this country right now, and I feel like we're $40 trillion in debt, and and we have an idiot in the White House that's basically like, I don't want to get too deep into this, but I just want to say like we have like an idiot in the White House that's basically he thinks that he's making the country better, but he's really not. And I feel like we need better politicians. We need better people in power in the U.S.
Oh, in the rest of the world, he's not liked at all. Like like he's hated everywhere.
Yeah, like everywhere. Like he's asked every single country to help him in Iran, and every single country said no. You
Yeah,
fight your
yeah,
own war.
yeah. It all went downhill for him in that war.
And not only that, like Iran even told him straight up, like Iran Iran said they're not backing down. So
Iran pretty much won that war. Like, there's no
yeah.
doubt about it.
And then the thing is, he says, "Oh, well, we won the war. They're already defeated." Well, if you won the war, why are you still fighting them?
Yeah, and the Strait of Hormuz, it's still under Iranian control, so
Yeah, exactly. It's like I feel like we need better leadership, and also with these right wingers too. Like even I can say like even Pope Leo has said has made some comments saying that this isn't right. What's happening in the U.S.
oh
isn't
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Even
I've
Pope
seen
Leo
that.
doesn't like him, and it's astonishing how his supporters consider themselves like Christians.
They're nah, they're anything but.
But if you actually read the Bible, like Jesus was nothing like that man.
Yeah, no, it's they don't read the Bible. They clearly don't.
No, because the Bible, and not only that, but they put him before God, and they believe that he's God, but he
Yeah.
fits the description of a false prophet.
Well, see, Brandon's one of those people because what really, like, what set it off, right? Me leaving was like I was just scrolling through my YouTube feed and I saw this post of this fan-made Spider-Man image, and he said that homosexuality is immoral and evil. You know,
Yeah.
it's that typical like, you know, Christian conservative stuff, and that was just like, oh man, what am I associating myself with? Jeez.
Yeah. Like we shouldn't be like and that's and what he's doing isn't like I can understand like I'm not like it's not in a way like what it seems like to me is that he's just straight up hating those type of people, and that's
Yeah,
not what
yeah.
that's that and that's not what that's not what that's not what the Bible says. The Bible says you're supposed to love everyone, even your enemies.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can just take any quote from the Bible and it just shows that they haven't read it, because if they read it, they wouldn't be doing the stuff they're doing.
No. Instead, they should just be praying for the people that goes against their beliefs and still be accepting to them.
Yeah.
That's basically how it is. Like I see, and it's not just that, like Star Wars is inspired by many different cultures and religions. Like there's some
Mm.
Christianity experience in there. There's some Judaism stuff that's taken from Judaism. There's some stuff that's taken from like Hinduism, Buddhism, like all sorts of religions around the world. There's been inspiration that's been taken up.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very political IP as well.
Yeah, it's like political, and it's also like the Jedi religion too. Like the Jedi religion, there's inspiration from Buddhism and Christianity taken up in the Jedi, in the ways of the Jedi. I can see like a mix of both.
Oh yeah.
Like Jedi stood their ground. Like Jedi are kind of like Jedi are kind. You know how Jedi are not supposed to get married? They're kind of like priests in a way, because priests are the
Yeah.
same way. They're not supposed to get married. So Jedi are the same way. They're not supposed to get married.
Yeah, just one of the many things that inspired George to make Star Wars.
Yeah, and like before George made Star Wars, he studied all of these like myths throughout the world. Like he studied all of these like he studied like Greek mythology. He did a lot of studies, and he took what
Yeah.
he learned from his studies to make Star Wars. He started with, at first, like he did American Graffiti. That's what helped contributed towards A New Hope. And then at first he wasn't fully independent when he made A New Hope.
Yeah, because he had to work with Fox.
Yeah, like he had to work with Fox, but then eventually after the success of A New Hope, he had a lot more freedom on his hands, and he could do more with like The Empire Strikes Back and then Return of the Jedi. Like he did even more with Return of the Jedi as well.
Yeah, and the prequels were all funded by him. He didn't have any like studio suits trying to tell him what to do.
Yeah. And the thing is that the thing is that George Lucas always wanted, like, he didn't like people telling him what to do with the films. He wanted complete freedom to feel like he made the story. And also, people, you know what's fascinating is that people in the Gatekeepers Alliance, they point out they point out that George Lucas is so anti-Hollywood and stuff like that, but they put it in like a conservative perspective, and I'm like, no, just because George Lucas doesn't make movies the way that Hollywood is doesn't make him a conservative.
No, it's just, if you look at all the interviews he's done, especially the one with James Cameron, it's obvious where he stands politically.
Yeah, like George Lucas called it, like, basically, like, he talked about how everyone is just trying to get in power and all of that. People are all power hungry. And then basically the Richard Nixon era, like George Lucas had a fear of Richard Nixon, and Star Wars Palpatine was kind of inspired by Richard Nixon.
Yeah, because of the whole Watergate scandal.
Yeah, like he had a fear of Richard Nixon becoming the dictator.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why he was worried about that.
Yeah, like I can see, like, and the same thing with what's happening right now in America with this president that we have. It's like this guy is even worse.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like what George Lucas feared is coming to reality.
Yeah, like George Lucas. I think I have a clip somewhere of George Lucas saying that. Let me pull up the screen. George Lucas was saying that somewhere. He was talking about how America is like, I have it saved in my YouTube community, so let me pull it up. So somewhere down here. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah, I saw that.
Liberty
Yeah.
Mutual.
That's the one. He talked about America and how it could become the evil empire.
AI-generated YouTube thumbnails by just pasting a YouTube video URL.
In school, I was of the, angry young man.
Sure, you were a rebel.
I come out of anthropology.
Yeah.
So my focus is social systems.
Right.
And in science fiction, you got two branches. One is science.
Yeah.
And the other is social.
Right.
I'm much more of the 1984 kind of guy. than I am
THX
be
1138.
very honest with the spaceship guy.
Yeah.
The spaceship, I got into spaceships out of cars.
Yeah.
I love cars, I love going fast.
Going fast.
So I like spaceships.
Yeah.
But it isn't the science, aliens, and all that kind of stuff that I get focused on. It's the how do the people react to all those things? And
Yeah.
how do they accommodate them?
Yeah.
So that's the part that really fascinates me and I'm interested in.
You did something very interesting with Star Wars, if you think about it. The good guys are the rebels. They're using asymmetric warfare against a highly organized empire. I think we call those guys terrorists today. We call them Mujahideen, we call them Al-Qaeda.
When I did it,
Exactly. Like, you know how basically we call like people that are seeking asylum, that are coming across the border seeking asylum, and we call those people we call those and then there are people in America that call them terrorists, especially with what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And they call them terrorists, but really it's not terrorists. Like, people are actually seeking asylum. They're like the rebels, and then America is becoming the evil fascist empire. That's basically
Yeah.
what George Lucas was talking about.
And I think that's why they really hated Andor, because it really just put like a mirror up to them, showing them this is the system you voted for, and it's happening.
Exactly. Like, Star Wars Explained did a video on his review, and he said the same thing. And then people said, can you just talk about Star Wars without getting political? And then Star Wars Explained literally said, save it.
Yeah. I mean,
I just laughed because I thought it was funny. He's like, this is exactly how George Lucas envisioned Star Wars.
yeah, I mean, we're listening to George say it all right now.
And then Brandon kept saying, I remember Brandon said that a while back. He said, Star Wars has nothing to do with modern day politics. And I'm
Oh,
like,
oh my god.
no, Star Wars has always been political.
Yeah.
It's always been political. Like George Lucas said in 2020, I remember back in 2020 during I think it was like a group of college kids or something, a group of students. And it was through a Zoom call, him and Melody Hudson. George Lucas basically shows that he says that the prequels shows how our democracy turns into a dictatorship. And that's exactly how the prequels show.
Yeah, I think I've seen that clip. Yeah.
Yeah. And he also said that Star Wars is like aimed at like 12-year-olds. Like, it's meant to inspire people as they're growing up.
Yeah, he's always said that, yeah.
And then he's also like, for example, he said, like, he also mentioned in the interview that we're so proud of being the greatest country in the world for right now, but wait till it becomes like an evil empire. That's what he's literally like saying in the interview. Like,
Viet Cong.
Exactly. So were you thinking of that at the time?
Yes.
So it was a very anti-authoritarian, very kind of 60s against the man kind of thing, nested deep inside of a fantasy.
Or a colonial, we're fighting the largest empire in the world.
Right.
And we're just a bunch of hayseeds in coonskin hats that don't know nothing.
That's right.
And it was the same thing with the Vietnamese.
Yep.
The irony of that one is in both of those, the little guys won.
Right.
And the big, highly technical empire,
the English Empire, right?
the English
British
Empire, the American Empire, lost.
Yeah.
That was the whole point.
But that's a class.
that's basically what we saw with like what's happening right now in America. Like in America right now, like we have the little guys like in Iran, and it's showing like how Iran could win.
Yeah, they won.
Iran's gonna win, and Iran's pretty much won the war.
Yeah, they're still in control of the Strait of Hormuz, and
Yeah,
Trump's not happy about it.
No, and he's like saying, "Oh, well, we won the war, but if you won the war, why are you still bombing them? Why are you still hitting them?"
Yeah. Where's all that oil? Like because before they attacked Iran, the Strait of Hormuz, everything going through it, it was all for free. Now you got to pay Iran money to use it.
Yeah, and now it's gonna get worse. Like, and then he's going around saying, "Oh, well, the economy is good. The economy is good." No, the economy is not good. Like, gas is back up to $4 a gallon. We have grocery bills that are through the roof. Like, I'm
Yeah.
struggling to afford groceries right now with my full-time job alone, and
It's just ridiculous.
I can't work two jobs right now because of all of the I can't work two jobs right now because of the class I take at Butler, because I take a class at Butler Community College majoring in digital media, plus I do
Okay.
this on YouTube, plus
Yeah.
I work a full-time job. I'm like busy 24/7 all the time. Like, I don't
Yeah,
really
that's
have time for a second job like I want to because I'm trying to get my degree and working full time.
yeah, I mean that's the American dream now, isn't it?
Yeah, like I don't have time to do nothing because of everything that's going on. And it feels like I can't really like it kind of feels like I'm not free in a way. You know, when you have all this stuff and you're
Yeah.
swarmed. Like, if I do become successful as a content creator on YouTube full time, I would have a lot more freedom on my hands, free time on my
Yeah.
hands to do other things. Like, I would do these videos because it would take me like a few hours to produce the videos, edit them, and stuff like that. But then I could also like speed up my degree at Butler Community College. I could do other things, and then I could also like travel a lot, which is something that I've been wanting to do.
Yeah, it's the people that are running the show, they want everyone to feel like that, like trapped.
Yeah. And that's why I'm like staying strong. I'm focused on my channel because eventually I want to be like successful to the point where I'm working for myself doing like content on Star Wars,
Yeah.
and I can be able to do things like travel and stuff like that. And like and like boomers, like older generation would look at me like I'm crazy by saying that, but it in today's world it's not crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
it was rare like 10 years ago, but now it's
It's
becoming more
completely
and more
different.
common.
Yeah.
I mean, as the modern world goes, it's becoming more and more common. Technology is advancing, more and more people are online, so there's like more opportunities.
Well, I think you've got the potential, like your channel has got the potential to really get like big.
Yeah, I mean, I do believe that. Like, I at first, like back when I was a freshman in high school, I remember this back when I was a freshman in high school, and back when I was a freshman, uh, I remember like talking to my friends about Star Wars so much. I would just talk to my friends about Star Wars so much to the point where I would just literally annoy them about it. And then it came to me at some point. I'm like, oh, maybe I should just start a YouTube channel since I like talking about Star Wars so much. So I started a YouTube channel, and I saved all my energy for that because my friends didn't always want to hear about Star Wars. They wanted to hear about other things too. And then they started like giving me a hard time because it was just their way of like getting me to stop talking about Star Wars sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
Just annoy I would just the amount of time like I was talking about the franchise, it would just get annoying to them because they're not as into Star Wars as I am.
Yeah, that's yeah, I've had that problem before. Like in high school. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I've had yeah, and some people, and then there's people over there that question me like, why are you so obsessed with Star Wars or something like, and I'm like, that's my passion. I love Star Wars.
And now you can put that passion into your channel because it's all
Yeah.
about Star Wars.
And they say some like life is like too short. Like what good is it for you to like do something you least enjoy for the rest of your life
Exactly.
and waste so
Yeah.
much time? But you can be successful by doing something that you enjoy doing. It doesn't have to be something that
Yeah.
you don't enjoy.
Yeah, more people need to believe that.
I feel like not enough people believe that. And also, Chris said that I'm thinking of getting the Mandalorian and Grogu on 4K Steelbook. Oh, nice. I'm planning to get that too at some point. I haven't gotten around to it. Um, next Tuesday, do you think we will ever get a Steelbook for Andor Season 2, Ahsoka Season 2? I think it's likely because they're not just doing like Disney Plus, but they're doing physical media releases too.
Yeah, I'd be
And
surprised if they didn't.
I mean, they gotta also release the physical media, not just on Disney Plus streaming, because I also
Yeah.
love the physical media. And then also, I'm buying the 4K Steelbook, The Mandalorian and Grogu, this coming Tuesday. I think he said that like twice already, but yeah. So, but yeah, physical media. I love physical media.
Yeah, me
DVDs,
too.
Blu-rays, 4Ks, VHSs, Laserdisc.
It's really sad
I'm
they're trying to get rid of it all.
yeah, like I miss the VHS tapes. The VHS tapes were the best of my childhood memories. I love VCRs.
Oh yeah.
I've
Just
seen like I've seen Lucky Kennedy's videos like showing like the difference between like VCR and DVD and stuff, and it was like it was I can see the difference. Like the VCRs are the good times. I like the VCRs.
yeah,
I
it's
have
just nostalgic as hell.
like I remember my first original trilogy box set. It was like 1995, and it was like the one where George Lucas had the interview with Leonard Maltin at the very beginning. And that was what I got for one of my birthdays several years ago. And I still have it today. And it's a part of my home video collection.
Oh, with the way things are going, you're going to be holding a piece of history. Like, no one's going to be able to get that again. Because, you know, if you want to see it, they'll just put it on digital.
Yeah. And the thing is, once I get my home video collection, I'm planning to do a bunch of YouTube shorts, like where I open up the VCR, I put the VCR in, and then I don't record like the movie part, but I record like the opening on VCR.
Oh yeah, I've seen some shorts doing that. Yeah.
So yeah, I thought about doing that. I'm doing that for TikTok too, because I'm on YouTube, X, formerly known as Twitter. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm barely active on Blue Sky. I need to be more active on Blue Sky. So I haven't been caught up on Blue Sky lately, but I'm also on Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook. I'm spreading all over social media because I want to get my like content, my word out on my view of Star Wars. So I'm doing it on all the social media platforms, any social media platform to get the word out.
Yeah. Well, I'm only on YouTube.
Yeah. I noticed you were only on YouTube because I tried looking you up on like Instagram or Twitter and I couldn't find you.
Yeah, no, I've only got YouTube.
Yeah. But YouTube is good too. Some people just only want to be on YouTube, but then some people want to be on all social media. And also, like, a good tactic for my channel is like every time I started doing this recently, but every time I post a new video, I share it across all my social media platforms, letting people know there's a new video out because it helps with the views.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, you should definitely do that if it's helping.
Yeah, it normally helps with the views and people come and watch it. But yeah, as far as that goes, and it's already almost 12:30 at midnight where I'm at. What time is it over where you're at?
Oh, it's nearly 3:30 p.m. We've been going at this for 3 hours and 25 minutes now. Doesn't feel like 3 hours.
Yeah, this was a pretty good stream.
Yeah. Yeah, we should do this again next week.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we'll figure out what we can figure out what Star Wars topics to go over.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Like me and you, like you can bring up some Star Wars topics that you want to talk about, and then I can bring up some Star Wars topics that I want to talk about, and we can like take turns sharing stuff.
Yeah, well, that sounds good to me.
All right, let's do it. But yeah, it's just I'm getting really tired. It's like,
yeah, you should probably get some sleep if it's 12:30.
Yeah, I gotta be up at about. I gotta be up at about like 8:30 because I gotta go take care of some things, and I'm going to my mom's house, and yeah.
All good.
All right. Well, it was a great stream. We should definitely do this again. I enjoy having you here, and once again,
it was good being here.
Yeah. But yeah, it's an honor to have you on. In fact, you are the first person I've done a live stream with. I haven't done a live stream with anybody else before. You're the first person.
I'm glad to have that honor.
Yeah, and also, we can maybe, well, I don't know. Lucky Kennedy's been pretty busy with work and whatnot. So I don't know if Lucky Kennedy would be able to hop on too, but at least like
I'm sure
me
at
and
some
you.
point, yeah.
At some point, maybe he can hop on if he's not busy. But at the same time, we should definitely do this again. It was a great stream, and
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. We had a great time talking about Star Wars, but that's pretty much going to be all for the stream tonight. I'm getting tired. Yeah, I'm about to fall asleep.
Yeah, you should probably get some sleep. Yeah.
Yeah. But all right. Well, it's good. It was good talking with you.
Yeah, likewise.
Hope you have a nice day, and stay safe out there.
You too. I'll see you around.
See you around. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for the stream tonight. So, what was this one saying? I wonder what the plot would have been. The hunt for Ben Solo. Well, we'll have to talk about that next stream. But anyways, that's all, folks. And that's going to end it for tonight.